And howdy folks, welcome to Adventures in Alberon, Courts of Everest. I am Joe Treff, your DM this evening and most, and joining me are my friends Matt, Vincent, Kara, Hannah, and Alana. Tina is not with us this week, but will be joining us hopefully next week. We are going to play D&D tonight, but before we do, a couple of quick announcements. First, we played Mosaic Team 5, our original Starfinder campaign last night. There was some starship combat. Actually, the whole session was starship combat, and it was very interesting. Definitely take a look when that re-airs at noon on Sunday on our YouTube channel, at Alberon RPG, followed by this at 4:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. We have a couple of different projects that are in the works. The big one currently is the Wandering Hearts tarot cards, which we have a whole slew of them done actually by now. I think Valis's is just about to be done, and I think Billy's is next. And I think after that is Minka. It's I can't remember which direction that goes in, but then Cheshire is the last one, and then they're all going to be done. And then we're going to have them hung up behind us in very much the same way that you will see the Mosaic Team 5 banners, but they look super cool.
I maintain that we should have one for you too, like the big the deity or whatever, the big guy.
The deity.
The seven of
tarot card for the big guy.
There's be some random ass like suited card.
You just do the world.
Yeah,
World.
How to tarot. Step 1. It'll be the insert. Yeah, that's what we'll do. Anyways, at Alberon RPG, Instagram, etc. We are going to be taking a break towards the end of this month. The last week of July and the first week of August are going to be, there's not going to be any live sessions, but in the place of those, there's going to be an original Cypher system game that is run by Kara that is called Iron and Thorn. We've played 3 sessions of it already. We're going to be playing the 4th in just a couple days. And it is I would say a horror adventure that is set in the 1920s in Massachusetts. And it is a whole bunch of us around this table who are going to be taking part in a little mill-based adventure. And
it's real fun.
Yeah, it's real fun.
Like General Mills or...
We're not sure because we haven't actually arrived to the mill yet.
Yeah, no one's actually gone to the mill.
We'll probably go when our characters wake up.
We stood outside of it.
Indicate, like,
You'll find out.
We're not invited. Okay? I'm
You decided you didn't want to play in this one.
Yeah.
So Matt is present during the first session, technically
I'm
upstairs.
right
Upstairs with the food order.
If you listen real carefully, you might be able to hear it.
Listen hard.
That is all the announcements that we have for this week. Oh, right, I have to finish that one. We're going to be on vacation. Iron and Thorns will re-air, or will air for the first time when we're doing that. You will see that on Twitch as well as on YouTube. And that is the final announcement that I have. And so it is time for this week's session of Courts of Everest. Wandering Hearts. Last we played, I minimized my window and could not read.
I put a cool map in front of the players to distract them while I pulled it up.
That's true. For the Wandering Hearts, Minka, you wandered into a trap set by a mass of invisible goblins who ambushed from either side. Though you were swarmed, both Minka and Valis up front, your party did sink substantial resources into defeating them, with Sunbeam evaporating several, a backfire of the amulet, cone of fickle cold, freezing 5
I forgot
that
about
were invisibly maneuvering into a flanking position behind Cheshire. Ori, you shot several down, with Billy and Alita contributing 4 each, totaling 20 goblins in total. That's what totaling means. You caught your breath for a moment before an ogre appeared. Knowing that this was trouble, Billy, you leapt immediately into action and began combat very quickly. All of you
It's an
slayed
ogre.
this individual ogre who was almost certainly trouble. After murdering Groger, you pushed forwards into the mines proper. On either side, shafts vanished into darkness with small signs featuring details about each place, some of which bore Lormar's signature and handwriting, Minka. But Minka, as you, closely tailed by Ori, lead the party forward, passing by a handful of these mine shafts, you rounded a corner to see a corridor of absolute magical darkness. And that is where we begin this evening.
And that's
Don't
this
you
on the
special
map,
eyes?
right?
I do have special eyes. I'm just triple checking that I can indeed see in the magical darkness.
I believe you can, but just
I
give me
can.
the range on that.
And that's
Probably
this,
120
this
feet.
area on the
You
map
can see
here,
normally
right?
in darkness, both
You
magical
were
and
off the map,
non-magical,
correct?
to a distance of
Is
120
this the
feet.
spot though? Where
No.
No, we're not on the map.
Oh, okay, so that's not the magical darkness.
As far as you can tell,
120.
no. But you are certainly looking at some magical darkness. You said
Which we had
120 feet?
heard about.
120 feet.
Okay.
Rez is dead, right? He bit the dust last.
He's not dead.
No, sorry. Rez is not
Chilling
able
in
to
the
be used as a.
demi-plane.
Yeah.
No, he's not chilling in the demi-plane right now. But he is
He's very
not-
warm.
Wait, what? Doesn't he have a? Oh no.
You can see that this hallway,
Snagged.
Alina, is 50 feet long, about 10 feet wide, though it does vary. This has been carved cleanly from the natural stone, which here is shifted slightly more volcanic than it has been in other places. With your sight, make a perception check, and you can just make it flat.
13.
With a 13, this does not feel perhaps like a solid chunk of darkness. You get the sense that it's probably stemming from more than just one source. But with that roll, you can't see what that source might be. It is almost to you like you are looking into a deep shadow where there are just bits of reflections that make outlines of each individual shape. And so you see little bits of stone, you can see where there are bits of like the ceiling that have caved in on the sides, but it is mostly clear aside from that. You do see at the very far end of this entire space, there is a bar of wood with some shards of what may be either broken wood or you suspect perhaps bone based on the curvature. It's almost set up to sort of poke people as they walk in.
And sorry, so we have this map, right?
Correct.
So
And as
Lena
far as
is
you can
looking
tell,
at the map.
yeah. And so you can see up front there is this room that is called in Goblin Demag, which you, as you look at it, the letters kind of shift and turn, and you can see this actually reads Gem Gate. You don't see any gate and you don't see any gems in the immediate vicinity, and that would tell you that you're not on this map yet.
Okay.
And so this
Or
is
the goblins are just really stupid.
that's also possible.
Which, for me, it's 6 of 1.
Yeah. So you're right there on the map, apparently. But for most of you, you get the sense that you are not in that place. And Minka, looking at this map, I mean, you are not maybe super familiar with all of these spaces. This is not the crawling road. This is kind of underneath. And so relatively new would this space be. You are sort of familiar with what crystals might be around here, and you don't see any of those kind of lurking or hiding. You've seen a few little specks when you enter your chalice form that seem to be luminescing, but they're very small, nothing that would appear on like a map.
Okay. The magical darkness, is it this bit here?
We don't know because we don't think we're on the map yet.
Right, but sorry.
So like we're
Never mind. I don't know exactly where.
So what
off
you
the
are
map.
looking
We're, like,
at, you would imagine
over
is not
yonder.
on the map.
We're like literally
Okay.
like over here.
Got it. Oh,
But we were
at?
told,
Like, you can't see this
But we
from
had
yet either.
heard of this
Roger.
magical darkness hallway before, right? Or am I just remembering this?
You might just be remembering it.
Okay.
Wait, but remembering would imply that it happens.
Like remembering that this is where we end last game.
Yeah, that's what I mean. Yeah, that it was just like,
remembering.
yes, this was the
Remembering
this was
the end
thing.
of the recap.
Yeah,
several
this was the
minutes ago.
thing that we saw, right when we were.
So how many? Go ahead.
Now, do we know how strong the magical darkness is? Is it like
What I mean,
What do you mean?
I
Alex?
arm wrestle it.
It's dark but magical. I mean, I can see through it.
Are you arm wrestling the darkness, Val?
No. Well, I mean, I have a spell that could theoretically pierce darkness, but I don't know if it's strong enough to pierce this darkness. You know what I mean?
Well, why don't we just...
I mean, I wish we knew, like, how, like, long, like, how much space it took up. Is that what?
Oh, you can tell that.
Okay.
Because your sight is 120 feet. Past about 50 feet, you can see it's still dark, but it doesn't have that weird reflective kind of nature.
Okay.
And so that's telling you you're seeing through magical darkness, and there is just regular old darkness on the other side.
Okay, I relay that.
Is
Oh,
this the
so
only way
why don't we
forward,
just
this darkness?
go
or
through
is this
there?
off to the side?
Make a perception check.
Oh,
and as far
yeah.
as you can tell, this is kind of the whole way forward.
That's
Goodbye, dice.
why would such a short area be dark?
I mean, I can walk through and check it out, or, I mean, if we take a breather here, I can summon Rez and send
It's
him.
only 50 feet, no?
I mean, you could just lead us through.
Right.
No, yeah, definitely, but,
Anyway.
Minka's right. Someone put the magical darkness there, and
Right,
people
so
don't
there's
usually...
probably some sort of trap on the way in.
Thus,
so
you
someone
can't even
should check
see
it
the
out,
magical
right?
darkness. It's
Right,
like
which is why you guide
something's
us
in the
through.
way.
I can't see what you're
Wait,
looking
but why
at.
don't I just go check it out first before I bring all of you?
Yeah, I don't see anything.
I just go look, and then if there is a trap and it's a murderous trap, then the rest of you are safe.
Should we do the rope thing again?
It's 50 feet. Alright.
So then we can pull you back?
Yeah, that means it'll take 2 seconds.
Right, so just go.
While they're talking,
Okay.
I want to do a rock check.
Does Minka have a rope out? Okay,
19.
she takes the rope and she
19.
like, ties it around her waist.
So when you say a rock check, is this a nature check? What are you trying to figure out?
I'm gonna pick up a rock and throw it into the darkness.
That's easy. With a 19, you pick up the rock and you hear as it just slides. And Alina, you see as it just kind of slides about. What's your strength score?
375 feet.
The strength score is +4, 18. I'm not sure.
18.
Okay.
So with a fist-sized stone, easily Valis chucks it. It like lands first about 30 feet in and then skips and comes to a rest past the darkness. You see it slides past this really ramshackle sort of pile of sticks and jagged bones at the end, slides underneath that and just comes to a stop. Nothing happens, nothing explodes.
Okay. Just hang tight. There's bones or something in there. I've got the rope. Look, just hang on for a second. And Alina is gonna activate her flight capability so that she's not like stepping on the ground.
Okay.
So that if there are any like pressure sensitive thing, she's gonna be inspecting the floor, but she doesn't want to be stepping on anything.
I would be careful of things that are higher up because if the goblins doing this, then they're gonna be lower down.
Okay. Good call. Thank you.
Like a clothesline?
Make a perception check, make it at advantage. As you hover over, you can look very closely without touching, and you can see in this darkness.
Perception at advantage, you say?
I do.
13.
No. Look at my notes here.
You see a fog.
You see a nice open hallway with no real kind of impediments. The only one being this mound of what look like maybe it's a bar of wood with jagged shards of bone that are embedded into it. You can see as you get closer, properly embedded. It looks like somebody put like a long plank of wood, like dug it into the actual ground itself. So purposely put here. And then bones have been rammed through it so that if somebody were walking blindly through, they would walk in and kind of poke themselves.
Can I just... Oh, sorry.
With a 13, as you get closer and closer, you can see that there is some kind of a liquid, and it's not quite dry. There is a slight viscosity to it, but kind of dripping off the edges of these bones, and there is some kind of poison or potion or maybe just a little bit of honey, but something on these.
Does it appear to be rigged to like spring an attack, or is it just there as like a solid spring and attack?
With a 13, it's tough to tell.
Okay.
How's it looking there?
Okay, there's a weird trap, but I think we should be okay. And she's gonna come back out and be like,
What kind of trap?
it's bones stuck into a bit of wood, and there's like poison on the end of the bone, so
So like a launching trap or...
I can't tell. I don't know. Look, it's
Is it in the darkness or is it through the darkness?
It's in the darkness, but it's like at the end.
Can I? I'm gonna just like
did take
dip my head in.
Okay.
How bad is the darkness?
How bad is the darkness? How dark is it? All the way! Because it is magical darkness.
It's
like
all the way
pitch
dark.
black.
Pitch black. When your eyes go into it, it's like it's beyond just even them being closed. It is a very unique sensation. It's discombobulating because very much like looking into Vanta Black, it pulls you in because it not just you're not seeing anything. It's an absence of light.
You don't have to hold your,
Your
breath.
head
It's
is-
just dark.
I see him poke his head in, right?
Yeah, oh yeah.
And I'm like, Ori, can you just... It's magical.
Right.
Oh, is this magical darkness?
Yes.
I cast a spell magic.
What level?
3rd.
Sticking your head in? Ori, this is extra cute, but come on.
But I mean,
So it says target creature.
or effect.
It says creature, object, or magical effect within range. What are you targeting?
The magical effect of darkness.
The 50 feet of dark.
Make an Arcana check.
Oh.
Should have asked for help before rolling this.
Guidance.
Very nice.
Grab that D4. Like,
Step on it.
Oh no!
Did you step on it?
Might as well
Like a
have, I
one.
think.
It was a +1. Did I help real good?
It was a +1. But I also rolled not very well. Arcana, 10 total.
You cast a spell magic into the darkness, and your ability to see where you might best target this, because you get
Oh,
the
sorry,
sense
11.
11.
Because I can't do math.
You get the sense that there is something that you would probably need to target, like some source of magic that is very specifically binding it here. You've rolled, all of you have rolled real low on your rolls.
It do be like that sometimes.
You fling the spell, and you do see for a moment, it is like the darkness flickers and seems to lose its intensity. And it just resumes and remains and doesn't seem to have quite hit the effect itself.
I saw something for a second, but then
Yeah.
it went back again.
With your roll,
Did we see anything in the second that it flickered? Like,
everybody but Alina make a perception check.
My head was dipped in, so I saw a little bit.
Oh, it was close.
oh,
26.
I rolled with my non.
19.
Okay.
it like heated.
16.
Yeah.
So, Minka and Billy, the two of you, as this darkness flickers for just a moment, you can see that there is some kind of inorganic material that has been smudged onto the ceiling. Not just in one place, but 3 places. And these seem to be some kind of arcane glyphs, and then the darkness kind of resumes and you can't see it. But
Oh, you almost had it.
you get the sense that this is anchored to 3 specific targets, and hitting any one of them directly, which would likely have required higher than a 10 Arcana check for firing into the darkness. However, now that you know where it is, with a little bit of instruction, you could fire at that again, if you wish.
Okay, well,
I'm gonna just like. You might need that spell slot later.
if
You know,
the-
like a slot for a
if the
spell.
only issue we can see is the thing the pokey thing, why don't we just have Alina guide us through so we don't walk directly into the pokey thing?
Yeah, one at a time.
Oh yeah, why don't you just bring me over there and I can see if I can guide my hands to where I can disarm it.
I think if you step on the other side of the darkness, you'll be able to see.
But if
Why don't
you-
I bring you over to the other side, and then we can workshop that plan because it is covered in poison.
did anyone,
the entire thing?
did either of you explain that you saw 3 anchor points?
Yeah, there was one, like, X amount of feet, Y amount of feet, Z amount of feet.
Oh,
Oh, good counting, Billy.
Thank you.
maybe that's where the spell is anchored. What if you just threw spell?
But the spell's already been
spells at it.
like,
Well, no, destroy the anchor points, not just use the spell that I
Just
used.
blast.
Yeah.
You fire an Eldritch Blast, and as you do, it strikes into the darkness and doesn't seem to do anything.
the spell's already been cast. It's there. That's just, like, the anchoring component.
And I'm not sure we want to disturb the ceiling structure too much
Alright.
because this is a.
What kind of check am I making?
Billy,
That makes sense.
I will say, you rolled a 26, right?
Yeah.
So in that moment, what you saw was not mere magic. There was something to it that was a little bit older than that. This is, Make an Arcana check.
I was gonna say, what check am I
Making
making?
that advantage, this has to do with some haggis.
Okay,
Those are hag.
I'm gonna take one of the
Thought
Dan
it might
dice.
be.
Okay.
Just smelled like ritual magic.
Nope, Dan dice, bad dice.
Jail.
Arcana, you said 19.
A 19. With a 19, that is actually enough. You have heard of things called soul seals. And in order to impart them into something, they do require a certain cost. But for them to be anchored into a place like this, they do have an equivalent sort of level to magic. The fact that it flickered means that a level 3 dispel magic, plenty strong enough. It just didn't hit the exact area. The benefit of kind of anchoring this into an object or place is that you do need to hit that exact spot in order to dispel the magic. You also know that this does mean that there are at least 3 souls that have been bound into the walls here, which would require in origin. But
Required a what?
in origin, souls come from a place.
Oh,
Typically
oh, I see.
Yeah. The soul store.
Yeah,
Souls are us.
that's the one.
Does it smell like the
shit.
souls are us we've been to?
Make a perception check.
Does my 26 not enough from
Oh,
earlier?
sorry, that was a perception check, right? With the 26, as you sniff the air, now kind of hearing this, first of all, it smells a little different than what you have smelled previously. There is the smell of almost like a winter fire. It's the smell of cold stone, really, more than anything. And it is a little colder here, not substantially so. You can smell certainly what smells like maybe sulfur or some kind of a volcanic gas. There's a lot going on, actually, now that you're really stopping and paying attention.
It smells like farts.
Yeah, a little bit.
Ooh, is it Helly?
Is that what hell smells like? Does hell smell like farts? Rez isn't here.
Yeah, he's not here, so I can't ask, but he's never really been able to describe it. It could be farts. Do I smell farts?
Now that Billy has pointed it out, yeah, a little bit.
Does it smell?
Does that mean something, or like,
Does it smell like
do you
smell?
have something to admit to the group? You know what they say about
Well,
smelling?
so the
And dealing.
Guys, we can just walk the 50 feet.
I was gonna
It's not that far.
I'm walking the 50 feet.
Does it
Alina
smell like that?
immediately
Just walks into the
zooms over to
darkness.
Ori, grabs his shoulders, and guides him through instead of letting him just.
As they are walking,
Yeah.
Billy explains to the remainders, and if they can still hear,
I'm 50 feet.
Cut one ear.
It's only 50 feet away.
well, the glyphs that are up there, they're made with soul stuff.
Is there a way to
Sword
release the
stuff?
souls within?
No,
Or he's like twisting back to go and talk to
They're-
you.
Major bad, Ori.
they're used,
So,
but
Ori,
they're bound here, and there are 3 of them, which, for one, yes, travesty, sorrows, terrible thing that souls are bound up there, but 2, we would have to use up valuable resources. We would have to dispel it 3 times. It's as if someone has created this magical darkness 3 times over. Also, yes, there's someone around here who can do that.
Probably the Arch Dreadlord, the ice,
Well,
frozen-throated
We
Dreadlord.
had that other area that was Stygian, right? If it's cold and sulfury. That's-
If we take a break, I can summon Rez and we can ask him. I think that's a good point, but. Oh, sorry. If we can take a break, I can summon Rez.
you almost push Ori right into the spikes, but no problem. You clear him around. And Ori, as you get
What
to
is the
this,
poison
you
Ori?
clear the darkness, and it's almost like just smoke, like away from your eyes, and right in front of you, a little off to the right, to make it so that like almost anybody walking through normal size would stumble into this. A goblin walking straight through would have no problem. But this is a board of wood that has been jammed into the dirt real deep, and they have pushed bones through. It is, to disable it would be cracking it and pushing it over, or
This is what has
it does have poison on it, the entire thing. And I would say, Ori, make a perception check.
So
Ori finally
if we dispel one of them, it will at least free
23.
one soul.
You see
No.
beyond just this poison doused, like, jagged bit
Okay,
pile.
I misunderstood.
Off to the side, there is a small, empty little, it looks almost like a bean or something like that, but you've seen these before. Chester has a whole bunch of them. It is like a little gourd bottle that has been made out of a fungus that looks kind of like a bean. It is open, and you can see elements of whatever is coating this was within that bottle as well. It looks like, rather than the careful application of a poisoner, they just opened and dumped the whole thing out.
Fucking goblins, man.
So I think we can safely pass through this difficult area unharmed.
It is colder over
And
here,
I
though.
kick it over.
Would-
Okay.
Can you just don't wander off for a second, okay? I'm gonna fly back and be like, just hug that wall.
Okay. So
It's
you fly
fine.
back right as Ori kicks this board and it falls on the ground and drop disabled, no check needed.
Dispelling the
I want to
glyph.
get a better lay of ahead now as I'm waiting for everyone to come back. It's this area now?
We don't know.
We don't know.
haven't-
We're not on the map yet.
Not
still
1,000% sure,
Okay.
but with your perception check at 23, one thing that you can tell, glimmering in one of the walls a little bit further away, there is a large fist-sized cluster of some kind of a greenish, brownish gemstone.
Crystalline clusters.
And you haven't been seeing those before. The stone here is a little darker, and it is certainly colder over here. Not just a little bit, like you're feeling a draft.
Like
it is.
frozen throaty.
You don't see your breath. It's also quite dark, but it's definitely colder. It's not frozen. You can see there are a number of like stone outcrops that are maybe 10 or 30 feet above. And you can see there are what look like maybe caves that kind of empty up in there. Very small caves. In fact, Ori, having seen some very similar to this before, you recognize old kobold caves, although these do not seem recently used. And with that check, you can tell in this dark space that just beyond, maybe 200 feet away, around a huge like outcropping of boulder that almost rises up 30 feet to the ceiling, there is maybe the flicker of a fire.
Dispelling the glyph isn't going to dispel the soul. The soul is being used, and if you dispel it, then the soul goes goodbye. Not freed necessarily, just
unbound.
gone.
Is that the same as putting it back into the source, or do they just go?
It's gone. That's what I've got. It's gone.
Not to be a nag or anything, but what the hell is taking so long?
Through the darkness, Ori's voice.
You just got to the other side.
Right, and there was literally nothing stopping me except for a board with some poison.
Morals!
Very
Can you
scary.
tell me
okay.
where one of those is? I only have one more cast, but if it can unbind a soul, then it's worth it.
Okay.
Billy like grabs
There's
his
a
arm
fire up ahead. I'm gonna go check it out.
and starts walking forward to where approximately she saw it, and then just like pokes his hand up.
Before
they meet
you
in the
cast
middle?
it,
Like,
I
am I?
can
Because I
cast a spell that will last for about an hour that should dispel it as we walk through it. I just didn't want to use it if it wasn't going to work. But I could just do that as long as we're okay with glowing for an hour.
We don't have to use any spells to get through here. Like Ori said, there's no more trap. I don't think we should be using more spells than we need right now. We can always help the souls on the way back.
I've said this before, and I think I'll say it again. I don't think that we will always get a chance to revisit the places that we leave.
I was thinking about that.
I said it, and then I was like,
Someone said
I've literally never done that before. The
face- I also
it was the
think-
only time that I've ever had that like pre-planned, and it could not have been more perfect. It was like as soon as Minka said that, I was like, "Wow!"
Alright, I'm just going to cast Daylight. We're casting Daylight.
I like how you didn't even use a tower, you just plunked it.
I did no roll. I cast Daylight on the shield.
you said there was a fire
As you
ahead.
cast daylight, and this radiant light just emanates beyond, and this is considered daylight.
Yeah.
It washes across each of these, and you can see this gray, almost lichen-like matter just into white ash and just disappears. And the darkness lifts, and almost unknowingly, there had been this oppressive sensation. It had almost felt a little heavier, and that just lifts, and it is cold.
There we go.
Valis
Okay,
puts a
then.
hand on Mika's shoulder and says, "Thank you."
Excellent squiring.
And thank you, Billy.
Squire points.
You make your way across to the other side, and for those of you who have not seen this before, you can see that the stone shifts pretty dramatically beyond this to much darker, smoother, black and gray, dark gray stone. Minka, you without any check know that this is probably augite. It is a little bit more volcanic in nature. And there are still here and there elements of like stalactites and stalagmites, but much less developed. That tells you this is principally a volcanic area, despite the cold. You see those same stone caves that Ori saw. Almost certainly these are kobold caves. And you can see the flicker of a fire beyond. What is your passive perception?
Mine?
Yeah.
I believe it's.
Or actually, make a perception check. You're looking. You're using your eyes.
I am using my eyes. I passed a 19, but my active is. All right, I'm gonna say that's fine.
Oh, you think?
Is it? No, that's cocked. I'm just looking at
it.
That's cocked.
Sorry, though.
Damn.
Oh no! Now I'm
Damn.
extra sorry.
12.
Okay. So you do not see Ori creeping along. You don't see anything else aside from the things that I've already described. Ori, with the 25, you creep into the darkness, even as the rest of your party is dealing with the souls that have been smudged across the ceiling. And
Smudges.
you can see that as you get closer, there is certainly a flame beyond, and it is growing steadily colder. You're also noticing off to the left and right, there are little clusters of crystals, some of which look like they are, at first you think silver, but it's a little bit too dull to be silver, maybe some other kind of metal. You can see what looks like perhaps amethyst. You see what maybe even like clusters of emeralds, or maybe sapphires. In the dark, it's hard to tell. You also see what looks like a man-made structure beyond, or at least the remnants of it. You can see walls, you can see like broken down elements of pillars, and beyond that there is a pair of different openings that continue forward. One of them is much larger, but or make a perception check.
I believe it's dirty 20, but let me just double check on that. Yes.
Dirty 20?
20.
You can see in front of you, kind of tucked into elements of this, and really as you like adjust and kind of like get quiet, you can hear behind you the whispers and kind of little like chittering of your party. It's very quiet, and to you, it's even at this distance, it's just whispers. And so you are pretty confident that beyond whatever you are looking at is not picking this up. It still doesn't feel great hearing your party and seeing this, but you can see in the darkness and hear goblin voices. And they're moving things about, little bits of rubble, little kind of stones, and there are much bigger shapes beyond. Would a visual perspective be helpful?
Always. The theater of the mind is great, but the theater of the little minis is also very nice.
Indeed, I do enjoy the theater of the little minis.
Trust the minis too. I guess I can have it.
Ori, as you're watching, a huge shape takes center prominence here.
And it's gonna be super friendly.
It's a puzzle, remember that.
And it's a pony for me!
Oh, oh.
Oh my god, that is a huge. Damn it, I knew there were more ogres.
And
It
goblins.
was up on that platform. I'll put it on.
Yeah, but that one that we killed was definitely not working with the same
What?
couple of folks.
Your minis are in the way.
Sorry.
Matt, can you move them?
Matt, your table's trash.
They're not mine. They're the ships from last night.
It's not, it's still.
Oh.
It's not
No,
flat.
it's literally
These
your-
are mine.
Yeah, it's my hand protecting the cat.
I got the cat, got
Mini.
the frog.
Oh, everyone is safe.
Riveting
All right.
visual content.
Push closer to me now.
And there should be one more goblin somewhere.
I think this goblin fell from his little pedestal.
There should be one more.
Matt, push it closer towards the screen. Nope, the
Is
screen.
he the guy on this knocked
This
over
guy.
behind? Oh. This guy is here.
Yeah, he only has one guy. Okay.
A little bit more.
Let me go ahead and put this up for everybody here. Which side are we coming from?
We need to be this way more.
Yeah.
You could also move, if it's easier to move the camera too, you can move the camera if it's going to keep it more centered. This is, we moved things for a lot
right.
a little bit last night.
We are in control.
I'm just afraid of touching camera.
No, that's fair.
Because every time I touch camera, bad thing happened.
Yeah.
So, you can see what is on the camera, but you can also see it in much greater detail at Alberon RPG on Instagram when it's posted sometime this week. You can see all of this in front of you. Ori, you are coming in just a little bit off the map on this side of the rock. And you are seeing all of this. You're kind of hearing the goblins come into focus, first audibly, and then as they are like tugging things around. You can see a few of them kind of tucked into the wreckage, and then you see this huge shape kind of depart, and it is a massive ogre, easily twice the size of the one that you had seen before, and just covered in bits of wood and metal and armor. You can see on their back there is a palanquin that has been created from a broken down wagon, and on their back there is a goblin that is currently like surveying everything from on top. You at first think the other ogres all also have these, although they are much less armored, but you realize as you are looking, it is not that they are standing on their backs or on palanquins, it's that each of the 3 goblins on each of those ogres in the back have been sewn at the waist onto the shoulders, and you're recognizing now that last ogre that you killed had 3 red circles that had been tattooed around them. In very similar places on each of those ogres, you see goblins that have been sutured onto the
I'm sorry,
ogres
what?
themselves. So you see in between the shoulder blades and then on each of the shoulders, there are these goblins that are just kind of, and they don't seem 100% with it, but they're there.
I wonder why.
What do we call these
Horrifying.
beauties, do we think? Yeah.
Horrifying is the name.
Ogres with goblin clothes.
Cool. So I take in the
Gunga
abominations before me. Take a deep breath and go. And I sneak back to the group. And I'm like, shh, shh, shut up, all of you. Just shut up.
I shut up.
It's like 3 ogres and a bunch of goblins, and they're all sewn together over there.
Oh!
They're very heavily armed, and
Sewn together.
yes, sewn together. Yes.
I hate that guy.
So of course it's gonna get worse as we go further. It's a lot colder too, but I think it's a pretty safe guess that this thing is dealing with these Gongo Bongo boys. So it's going to be either looking over at Valis, a very difficult, stealthy traversal.
Minka literally has daylight cast and a shield right now and is casting so much light.
All right, I'm going to go. There seems to be a goblin that is maybe in control on the largest of the ogres. I'm going to try and take him out.
Why don't you guys, you sneaky guys, go ahead.
Right.
And then we'll be the distractions because we're bad at sneaking.
Just, I don't think you should do anything until we're all ready because...
Well, that's what I'm saying.
How
We
about,
have the element of surprise. Let us use that.
what if you take us as far as you think we should wait, because
All right, so
I am
you
very
wait
loud.
here,
Right here?
and then count to about 30, and then run over here.
1.
What? No,
No.
stop.
When I, when,
You told
when
me
I
to count
leave.
to 30.
Oh my goodness.
Dallas, honey. Honey.
All right, I'm going.
Billy, not
Billy,
yet.
Billy, you can come too. You're sneaky enough.
I'm not sneaking.
Sneaky enough to, don't get caught when I shoot him. And then when I shoot him, go all out.
Okay.
Wait. Okay, so, like, what's the layout? Like, can you describe to us what we see?
Okay,
Or what we will see?
there are about 4 or 5 goblins right at the front when we enter the cave. Further back, you'll see it. It's the big-ass fucking ogre with a big palanquin, and on that is the tiny little goblin that I'm going to try to shoot. And then behind that, there are about 3 more ogres, not as big, but with all the fucking goblins sewn to them. And then probably a few other goblins here and there around them.
Do any of you speak giant?
I do.
I can read it.
That's cool. So for you can suddenly hear this booming voice just growl out in giant. And for the rest of you, you're just hearing giant, but for you, you can understand that they're saying, Winwinabom, come here. Groger has been missing for 2 hours now. Go and find him. And you can hear this like, and if you could take that ogre that has the axe and just move him next to the guy, the big guy, yeah, right there. And they're talking. You can hear the
including little goblins that are tied.
Yeah, and so when he takes
No,
a step,
they leave their
Yeah, they're like tied.
you see this
growths behind.
this ogre as he jumps down, he leaps and slams down, and you can see the goblins whiplash, slamming their faces into his back and shoulders, and there's just but he walks down, and as they like moan behind, he goes up, and they're talking now.
We don't see that. We just visually, because we're back. further.
I tell the
You're
group.
looking at this, correct? Or no,
Because I
both of
came
us.
back.
So you're here,
Yeah,
you're here.
But we just hear it. Yeah.
I'll tell the group what I just heard. They might just be sending one after us, so maybe we should hide and ambush the one that's coming to reduce their numbers before we engage.
That's not a bad idea.
It's not a bad idea.
I can stand in the
Sometimes-
middle
We need to.
here because I'm glowing.
We need to get further back because if we.
Yeah,
if we
about that,
ambush
can
them
you,
right
like,
here,
not
Shh,
blow
we need to plan.
Could you
I know
put like a
that's
cloth
what I
over that to like cover it
We need to go
while we
back.
hide?
If we're going to
That's
ambush them, we
turn
can't
off the
do it
light.
right here. Yes, but we can do that further
Minka's
back.
cloth is all super gauzy, so it really just puts a slight like green tint to it.
The best way to do it is to get away
Okay, fine,
from where
okay.
they're going to be so that we can plan a little better.
Are there a bunch of rocks and whatnot that we can hide?
Yeah.
I just want to
This
check
is
to
too
see.
close. They will hear us
how-
if we start all out fighting.
Billy, come on.
They come up.
But
We're
if
not
we
going
get farther away, then
For those of you who
people here
have
won't
any
hear.
kind of visual on them, even if you're about 100 feet away, you can see this big one, and you hear big footsteps lead off and in the other direction as they walk away. Yeah.
This way?
Yep.
Away.
Oh, not away from us.
Not away from you, but perpendicular to you.
Oh, so not towards exactly where we were before.
Correct.
Oh, okay.
Okay. Then we don't
Okay,
need
so
to...
he's not coming this way.
Alright, so I think we still just go and try to deal with the leader.
Okay,
Okay.
fine.
So
Are we
I
still
have,
counting or?
I have a magic question.
Okay.
26.
I cast
27.
I cast a like it lasts for an hour. It's not concentration. Can I choose to end that spell early?
You can, yeah.
Okay, cool.
So you drop on that spell?
I guess okay. So we're turning this off.
I mean, it's up to you, but if we want the element of surprise, like Mary said. Yes, Grace, thank you.
Okay.
It looks really nice.
Here,
So-
what? I will unclasp my cloak and put it over. Does it kind of like just black out the light?
No, but it's this is daylight, and so it would be similar to if you put your cloak over like a skylight. It definitely shines through. Now it's helpful. It doesn't completely disguise it.
All right, so I don't have a blackout cloak. Got it.
You do not.
I'm going to go forward and try to surprise. Please follow up with a secondary attack of some kind because I don't want to die.
I'll just drop
Be so
the daylight.
low.
Okay, ready? Hey, you ready?
All right, when do I start counting?
Valis, just follow us. It'll
When
be
you
fine.
hear an ogre shouting because I just shot it,
That
Then
seems like it's
that's
too
a
late
good-
to start counting.
Wait, let's
You
go.
can see this ogre, the one with the axe, now climbs up to the top of this platform, right in front of
This guy or this guy?
that guy. Yeah, and you put him right up there. Perfect. He climbs up to the top, and you sort of hear it first, and then rocks like crumble down as their big hands, and they rise up over the top, and you can hear Groger.
I'm taking his assignment very seriously.
Billy pushes Ori forward.
I mean, I've already gone.
You can see
Classic Ori.
they put their hand out, and even though it's like pitch black in here, they shield their eyes from the non-existent sun and just like stare into the darkness. Or you feel these eyes go directly over you, but definitely doesn't see you.
I'm gonna sneak up to, I guess, about here.
Okay.
Or actually, I'll come from this side because this is like the entrance,
Yeah.
right? Okay.
Do we have to roll stealth checks?
Or we already did.
Okay.
So I'm gonna sneak
Who's-
up to
Who's
here.
back here with us, the retainers?
All of you save Cheshire, I assume.
Can I,
Or he told Billy to come with.
Oh, okay.
he did. And I kind of want to split the difference so that I can see what's happening and
steady
also
my
talk
shot
to...
and get ready to fire at this.
I'm gonna say to you too. So I don't really understand this element of surprise plan because us three are just gonna have to walk into the room and be really far away from everything.
He's gonna try to kill the ringleader. Goblins are really
50 feet
cowardly,
back.
so they probably will just run away.
Not if they're sewn to. Yeah, you're probably right. I'm gonna listen for the signal.
You're gonna listen.
Okay, so where are you placing yourself?
I'm here, basically like popping around the corner so that I can get the shot on the goblin that's up there.
And
shouting the orders.
if Billy sees him lining up his shot, she's got something she'll do, so just let me know.
And your stealth was a 12, correct?
No.
Or sorry, 25, sorry. Where are you placed, Billy?
Literally right behind him.
Okay, so Billy,
Yeah.
you are a little less hidden than Ori.
Of course. I'm
And
not stealthy.
Ori, you feel very confident in your stealth, but you can hear every footstep that Billy has. And there's a point where you hear up above you this little... And you can see suddenly...
I'm making my shot now before it
shadow
before
of
it
this
comes
little
over.
goblin look over, and they look down. So if you want, you can go ahead and take your shot.
Billy casts, gives a bardic inspiration.
Okay. Everybody can go ahead and roll for initiative.
Yeah. I was waiting for it.
Can I hold it or should I just use it?
Not
You should
ready
use it.
today.
It doesn't matter. But
Oh, if
it's a D.
if you've already
right.
think you've hit, then you're
You know, why not? It's an extra one.
it's a D8.
But yeah. All right. I think it's a hit.
it either. Oh, I picked it up. Okay.
Woo!
Boop, boop, boop. That's gonna be.
Is it like opposite day and Valis is gonna...
When I said
31
Valis
to
was
hit.
listening for
A
the
31,
signal,
yeah,
he is
absolutely.
listening
That's good damage
for
on
the
that.
signal.
So that's.
Okay.
And I'm gonna do.
That was like one of
I'll be
those
hanging back with you
mechanical arms.
Whatchamacallit.
I think I know what happens. I think I know how this starts.
I mean, it starts with her taking a shot at this goblin.
I mean, I think I know how this starts for Minka.
I'm gonna do a menacing attack on it.
Okay.
And so it's going to need to make a DC 17 Wisdom save.
And you are shooting at the goblin, correct?
Yeah, there's a goblin on
Yep.
top of this guy, right?
Yep.
That's like sewed on.
Yeah. Okay, that is going to be a grand total of 5.
Okay, so it is frightened of me.
Okay.
And it's also taking a buttload of damage.
You think the goblin is the leader?
Oh.
He's in palanquin.
Well, it's sewn on to the giantest of giant.
This one is not. This one, again, is in that palanquin on top. The other ones you thought, oh, those guys are also in palanquins, but they're not. They're sewn on. This guy, that is the one who is like riding in that. So you see how he has like
Right.
this big thing? He's not sewn on. He's in there.
Okay, but that's the one that
Okay,
I'm
cool,
hitting.
cool.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
How much
Because he's
damage?
the one
It
who's
makes
like
sense that-
overseeing, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
Sure.
Palanquin.
He's not...
Palanquin
So
means
that's,
important.
Yeah, but he wouldn't be the one that yelled in giant just now.
He definitely wasn't.
Yeah.
It was a guy holding him. Most likely.
Unfortunately, this conversation didn't happen soon enough.
Yeah, but like it could be that the goblin
I mean,
and they're like co-leaders.
oh yeah, like yeah.
Maybe he's steering him like Ratatouille.
So 28 magical piercing and 4 fire
Exactly.
damage, and
That's
then
now what's happening.
he's
Ogre Tui.
He's not frightened because with that shot howling through the darkness, you can hear off to the side, and then there's no scream or anything, but you hear a wet thud as the goblin hits the ground and is dead. You shoot them straight out, and at the moment there's no immediate reaction. But could everybody go ahead and roll for initiative?
Yeah.
And anybody
sure.
with a natural 20.
Can I reroll?
Oh,
This guy was
Yeah.
listening for the signal.
there you go, listening the most.
Look at you, Valis.
Timed it perfectly,
You're doing
Valis.
it.
Anybody 25 to 20?
yes,
23.
also 23.
Okay.
You're going first.
23 first.
Roy for sure has higher dex than
Billy.
Billy.
That is Billy. Okay. 20 to 15? 15 to 10?
Oh no. Oh no.
Minka, where are you?
I roll a natural 1 for a total
Nice.
of 4.
And then Alina.
6. Alina is too distracted trying to make sure that Valis like knows when to go.
So Valis is
He
starting.
totally throws her off, and she's very discombobulated when he actually does know when to go.
Valis is starting us off, followed by Ori, then Billy, then the ogres, then the goblins, then Alina, then Minka. So, Valis, you are waiting for the signal, and even as you hear the fing of the string just being let go, or the crossbow letting go of this bolt, you fly into action. What are you doing?
I don't know where I am on the map.
You're over yonder. somewhere.
You're like 50 feet back.
Would it
from
take
here,
me less than 30 feet of movement to get within, so I can see this guy?
What is your dark vision like?
Let's see.
Because Minka just turned out the lights.
60 feet.
60 feet, so you would need to be within 60 feet to see him, and you are 30 feet off the map.
Is this room dark?
It's relatively dark. There is one fire source that is flickering from somewhere around the sort of, that general vicinity. It's actually a little bit dimmer now that the goblin that was holding it is on the ground. But, yeah.
Did you put out daylight?
Yes.
Okay.
Because everyone kept yelling about the glow.
So no more glue.
I didn't say
I
anything.
got bullied into it.
It's fine.
Worked out great.
I didn't need that level 3 spell slot.
Oh God.
Because I was just thinking,
mean-
this room is dark. If he...
You chose to cast daylight. Nobody made you cast it.
I know.
What you doing, Valis?
Listen,
Alright.
Minka was willing to make that sacrifice for Alice.
I'm gonna cast, I'm gonna look at all the rocks around me and cast animate objects.
Rocks.
For free, what I will tell you is the geography is looking a little different here. This is very volcanic in nature, and so you're not seeing the same kind of sedimentary crumble around here. Without using the spell, as you look around, there is not immediately just rubble.
Okay.
And so you notice that there's not those little brownstones that are everywhere. Typically, that is because there's not immediately these kind of rocks. Everything is kind of anchored in.
Alright then. Instead, I am going to put my mining supplies on the ground and
Okay.
cast animate objects.
You take the mining supplies, one pick, another pick, a third pick, and you animate them, along with some shovels, pythons, and other things, and they float ominously into being. No problem.
Nothing scarier than ominous floating.
So you're ending your turn.
And then I'm gonna move forward, preferably behind something, so I'm not... Like, can I get behind this rock?
What's your speed, 30?
30.
Yeah, just to the edge of the board.
Okay. Alright, so that's my movement. I still have an action, so for my action, I will just dodge.
Okay, you take the dodge action, trying to peer into the darkness to figure out where that thump came from. But that is your turn, Valis. That brings us to Ori.
15 feet up. Can I climb this with my movement?
You have 30 for movement? Yeah.
I climb up.
You leap to the top, and you now tower over this goblin, who suddenly spots you.
Can I push? Or actually, can I quick toss the goblin?
No. I like where your head's at, but no. You can as an action push, yeah.
I push the goblin
Go ahead,
down.
make an athletics check.
19.
19. They rolled a 2. And so
Just makes
you
me
got a
think
shot.
of like in Game of Thrones the things I do for love.
It is this great moment where your
I'm
hands
pushing
meet,
it like specifically right down to Billy.
Bring him here!
and as you push,
Like,
there is this
here you
moment
go,
where
Billy.
like your
Take care of
hands
it.
meet right in the middle, and in their mind and in your mind, there's going to be like this epic like struggle, but you just shove them straight off. There is no resistance whatsoever. Their arms buckle, and you hear a little "ow," and they fall. And they tumble, and you can just put them prone on the ground. It is 15 feet, so they do take 2 points of damage from that fall.
And then from there, I'm gonna bonus action insightful fighting on the big ogre. Has it still not spotted me or like noticed that the guy has fallen?
As far as you can tell.
Okay, so yeah, insightful fighting on it. It's technically an insight check contested by its deception. Yeah, not gonna-
12.
Yeah, that's
So that is your turn, Ori.
yes.
Alrighty, that brings us to Billy. Then the ogres are on deck. Billy, this goblin. Ow! and they begin to like crawl back to their feet, but they're prone.
Hi. And Felix grabs the sword.
You're welcome.
So the first one is going to be a 28 to hit.
Yeah, that hits.
And a 16 to hit.
That's close. 16. That hits.
Shouldn't you have advantage because they're prone?
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
So
Isn't it
28.
automatically. Oh no, is that Starfinder?
That's Starfinder.
Coup de grace is
28 and
to be a
26.
Those both hit.
Oh, I know coup de grace. I've been coup de grace.
I bet you have.
Oh, ow. No. My heart. 10, 19 points of piercing damage.
9 points of piercing damage is pretty substantial for a tiny little goblin. And with that additional 2 points, it's enough.
Hey.
As the goblin falls, you hear, ow! And they go, and before they can say anything as they hit the ground, you just right across, and they almost divide as they hit into the stone. But anything else, Billy? You still have movement.
Yeah. So Billy's got 60 feet of dark vision. Can Billy see the goblins that are up there?
Yes, you can. And with that especially, they start to kind of move and shift into action.
Are the only ones that have clear line of sight the two farthest away from me, closest to Matt?
No.
There's one on
up.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's the only one with clear line of sight?
You're seeing 2. So the one that Matt, those 2.
Okay, cool. Perfect. I think I'm just going to stay put.
Okay, you stay put. That is your turn, Billy. That does bring us to the ogres. So there is this thud, and you can hear like mumbles and confusion. This big one in the middle is going to use their action to make a perception check. I'm going to throw that dice real far. And they're going to turn and look. And though they do not see Billy where they currently are, and they do not see Ori, they do see that there is a missing goblin. And they go, and suddenly you see in a moment where they question for a second, they reach back, and their goblin's gone. And they're like, my goblin's over there. And so they start moving off in that direction. No, they're going to move towards you.
You had it right.
You can move them 10 more feet. Yeah, right there. Right there.
Trundle,
They
trundle.
stand up to here, and at this point, suddenly the eyes get a little bigger, and some of you get the sense that you have been seen. And at this, they turn, and Valis, you can hear in Giant, they yell out, "We've got intruders! Use the doors!" You can see
doors?
one of the little, actually, this guy is going to stomp down with all of his goblins over here.
What doors?
Was that in common or
No.
giant?
Good job.
The doors.
I don't know any Doors songs off the top of my head. I'm so sorry.
So,
Da, 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 da.
one of them hops down with all of their little goblins kind of as they jump down to the ground. The one who is standing there reaches out and hugs this other ogre, and you see this big purple thing just appear as one of the goblins just kind of squeezes their eyes shut. And then right behind Valis,
What?
a purple door opens,
I'm sorry, they have dimension fucking door?
and
The door.
they use the door.
Bye-bye. Oh, no.
Good God in heaven!
Technically, he's like right behind you there.
Hey, guys.
And each of them have 3 of these little goblins sewn onto them, one of whom has their eyes shut real tight and is bleeding out of their nose. And they are now looming over top.
Oh, so goblins are the energy!
One of them,
They're the
these
beads in the
ogres,
necklace!
is going to reach up high with both of their hands. And Valis, as they step out of the door, they're just going to slam their fists into you.
Dodge.
I'm dodging.
You're dodging. That is going to be a 20 to hit.
Miss.
Fuck yeah!
Slams down. You duck to the side. They like pulverize the ground that is near you, but that is all that the ogres themselves can do. The one that is up there,
Oh.
they can't really see anybody, and so they're just gonna jump down with all their friends. They still can't really see anybody, so that's all that they're gonna do. That is the ogre's turn. That brings us to the goblins. Oh, my favorite. Okay. So,
Yeah, all
With
the
the
AoE
goblins
spells
here.
that I have currently.
I am
All
a
of
magic
them.
user.
It's just gonna move a little from the back.
Well, if you want to be, we could sew some goblins onto your back.
That's not how you use magic.
Apparently it is.
Did you just see what I just saw?
So there are 4 goblins who are up and who all have, you know, 2 of them have line of sight on Billy. So Billy, there are 2 tiny crossbows that take shots at you.
Uh-huh.
That is going to be a 17 and a 20 to hit.
Yes.
Both of them?
Yes.
Ooh, okay. That is going to be 3 points of damage and 5 points of damage as these tiny little pin pricks go into you. Can you make 2 Constitution saving?
Oh no.
That was the second.
Oh right,
half.
there was poison on the. Oh no.
Oh no.
Oh no.
Oh no. That's an 8 and a 6.
Are you
Goodness
within a
sakes.
certain?
No.
Billy.
No. All right.
He's digging to you, and you're like, oh no, oh, and like you feel sick, and all of a sudden it is shockingly cold in here, and you would reckon that you are vulnerable to cold damage. You can go ahead and just mark that on your character sheet.
Which one just hit
Like
her?
forever?
You could just mark that on your character sheet.
No. I don't want to be vulnerable to cold
It
damage.
is frigid in here, and though the temperature doesn't change for you, all of a sudden it seems to matter a whole lot more. But that is the goblins who can fire crossbows. Now we're moving on to our psionic goblin grafts. These guys,
I hate that. I hate that.
I don't love the noun graft here. Yeah, that's very upsetting.
give me just 1 second here. So, right now, Valis, you're kind of the focus of everybody's attention. And if you could go ahead and for me, could you make 5 intelligence saving throws, please?
Good God!
No, Jojo.
Against the goblins.
It's too many.
Against these as
Dial
well?
it back a little bit.
No.
Okay.
It's
so
against
just-
only the ones that are around you, and one of them that is currently bleeding from the nose
Oh my
seems
God.
to be responsible for Dimension Door and is not participating in this.
5 of them?
Yep.
Gonna roll 5 at once. Let's see what I got. One of those is surely a failure.
Oh, but you got a nat 20.
You did.
Alright. Intelligence? Oh, I hate that. Alright. Do I need to just tell you if I fail, or you want me to tell you all the numbers?
How many are below 12?
2.
2. Okay, so you only failed twice. Not terrible.
Two of them were
Natural
13s.
20.
Yeah. And one was.
One was a natty 20.
That's nice. Val,
No, what are you saying?
grand total from 2 of these, 7 points of psychic damage, and could you roll 2d4, please?
7 points of psychic. Is this a spell? Does my...
This is a spell.
Okay, so would that be reduced to
Yes.
3 or 4? I forget how it works.
3.
Alright. And then 2d6,
2d4.
2d4. Ooh. Ooh, I don't like that. Let's see. 1 and then 2. So 3
3. Okay.
total.
Valis, you subtract 3 from your next saving throw.
All right.
That's all.
I don't like
Easy
that.
peasy.
That's not good.
No,
I need
don't
those.
Now, from
He
this
said
guy
that's
over
all.
here-
And would he say that?
Valis, can you make a
Really?
dexterity
Was
saving
that
throw?
right? No.
That's there. There
Does
it
it-
is.
No,
okay,
no,
okay.
it's all in the same action.
Alright, so dexterity saving throw.
Correct.
What's happening to me now?
You're getting attacked by this guy over
Alright.
throwing something at you.
So mine is flat 7.
Energy.
What was that?
7.
7. That is a failure. You could see suddenly
Oh, wait.
all...
I am dodging.
Oh,
So dexterity, I get advantage?
Correct.
Okay.
that's big.
15.
15. Okay.
Does
that
that-
is important.
Oh, we dodging.
All 3 of the goblins on the back of this axe-wielding individual suddenly straighten up, and you see all the little hairs in their heads stiffen, and there's a crackle of electricity that arcs from one to the next, growing larger, and then from this ogre's mouth, it opens up, and there is a deafening belch that unleashes a lightning bolt straight towards you. You are able to mostly dodge it, but Valis, you are still taking... 22 points of lightning damage halved to 11.
Is this damage from a spell?
It is.
Oh. So I take 6 damage?
Yes, very, very nice.
Man.
And so as this strikes into you, it rips through, but the aura that is around you seems to displace elements of the electricity, almost anchoring it into the ground, which chars in your wake. But the goblins all kind of straighten up. Everybody's still focused on you, Valis. You are the only enemy that is visible. But that is, aside from Billy with those 2 goblins, that is all of the goblins. That brings us to Alina, and then Minka, you're on deck.
Okay.
My concentration still holds.
There you go. To the objects, we're like, whoa.
No, come back. Still on.
Okay. All right. How far from like here am I? How far back?
You're 30 feet off the map.
Okay. So I'm gonna come right on up.
All right,
Is
you
that 30
cronk right over.
May I have my keys, please? All right.
Give us out your way.
All right. So I'm still flying. So we'll say that I'm like.
I don't know where the flight things went.
Oh,
I have like a
not
whole
too many.
stack of big guys over here. I don't know how you.
Big guys are hard to use
They are,
on
yeah.
such detailed maps. Okay, so she's gonna be here.
Okay.
And
thank you.
from this vantage point, she can see, like, through here, 4 little guys and a big guy, and then a horrifying big guy.
Sure.
Okay.
And you also, as you fly up and you come into visibility, at first everybody's focusing on Valis, but you see this huge individual, their eyes track over to you. And the pupils get much larger as they see you, and you can hear, you don't speak giant, correct?
Oh,
you
he
hear
writes it
thundering
down.
words. Valis, you hear from off in the distance from this cavern, bring me those hooves. But that is the response. Anything else you're doing?
Yes. Oh, I've only moved so far. We're only just getting started here.
Who said that? This guy?
Yeah.
My hooves. Okay. And is this this is like as it looks, right? There's like
Hooves, you.
you can walk around this way, you can climb up here, right?
You could, yeah,
Light
for sure.
speed.
Okay. So I am going to call down to my party. I'm gonna cut off the other half of the group until we've dealt with these idiots, and she's gonna place Hunger of Hadar, Hunger of the Hunt, right here.
Phenomenal. Okay.
Heck yes.
So that, where's my thing?
Do you want to
And it's 20 feet, 20 foot.
So it's going to be the ogre and I think 3 of the goblins, these guys.
Hell yeah.
20-foot cube? Or 20-foot
20 foot radius sphere.
Sphere. So that's
And I think you can get this. I think you can get both of these ogres too.
Dope.
15 radius. So yeah.
All right.
This
So
is a 15, yeah, so 20. Yeah, for sure. So that's going to be 4 goblins and 2 ogres. So that's fantastic.
nothing happens right this
Yeah.
second. But later when they start their turns, they'll.
Yeah.
Every time I read that spell's
Absolutely. So
original
from the
description,
center
man.
of
It's-
this
You
kind
don't
of
like
space,
the
That's why we've reflavored
milky
it.
there is this
chemicals?
explosion of vines and different elements that just rupture around. And Alina, you can see that these no longer dark foresty green. These are all the different colors of autumn. There are kind of twisting leaves that are different shapes than you are used to that now fill this space, but very much still Hunger of the Hunt. And they sprawl out in all directions, threatening to pull things with them. But anything else?
Yeah, so I'm gonna stay put where I am, just trying to keep track of what is going on the other side of
Okay.
the spell.
Gotcha.
So
Cool.
that as people are moving in, she's gonna plan to like be the eye in the sky.
Yeah, no worries. You're going to direct traffic from up on the top of the sphere.
Hondo P,
There
and
you
I
go.
think that's all I can do.
Alrighty, that brings us to you, Minka.
Okay, so now that she's over her shock of how fast Valis moved, definitely is not tripping over her own skirts. She's going to run in, see how nutty it's gotten already, and be like, "Oh no!" So for her action, she's going to cast Summon Woodland Creatures.
Nice.
Very nice.
Overwhelm them with numbers.
So we're going to cast 8, like quarter challenge. So it's 8 pixies essentially, that we're gonna flavor as like little moat guys. And let me
There's
just.
8 woodland animals.
Oh yay! I prepared. Oh Amazing.
I have in the works some more celestial woodland animals,
Okay.
but yeah, it's a process.
Joe just handed Alana a fistful of the most adorable little like wolfy miniatures you've ever seen.
This one's a
Oh, there's
frog.
foxes,
there's a-
there's wolves,
Oh,
there's
there's a
squirrels.
Frogs
panther.
that Dan.
I recognize that panther.
all kinds of things.
I really wanted
Alright.
that squirrel to be an XP token, but I kept forgetting it was there.
So, their instructions are going to be to become invisible
waste
and
to
then
our
find
enemies.
locations to like set up to be able to shoot enemies.
So you trace a constellation into the air next to you, and as you pull it aside, almost like a door or a veil, there's just these little creatures that rush out. They do look almost like these little points of starlight that make up these little figures, but almost instantly they just shift and vanish out of sight as you instruct them to become invisible.
Okay, so they have a flight speed of 40 feet. So, if I'm here,
And there is magical darkness here.
okay, so does it like?
Yeah, it's a sphere.
It's a sphere, yeah. And you would know because you've seen. Thank you. You've seen Alina cast this before.
It's
that
larger
if
than
they
that, though, right?
they can go through it, but if they remain in there, they will
Right.
take damage. And
So they are invisible, and so we'll send some over here then. So. Here.
Can I see over it still?
No.
From where I am in the dome?
You are able to see.
Because it's like this.
You can just barely see the palanquin that the big guy has, but everything else is pretty
If I go
close.
here, like,
I love
You can
how
see his head, yeah.
I love how Joe made this like beautiful map here, and we're just
Sorry, I'm
partying
still
in this
there.
little corner. over
This
here.
is what always
Hey,
happens.
you
he
know,
made them come to us. They could have been less curious.
they had to use the doors.
Yeah,
The door, yeah, no, I was excited.
right.
I was very excited about the doors.
the doors are very good.
And then we'll just put others right here. 'Cause, no
live
one
in
can move.
concert, one night only.
I killed Alina.
Oh no!
Goodbye, Alina.
Mickey, you heard that offer for the hooves, and you're like, I'm claiming them.
Gold is gold.
All right. So
Them's my
to be,
hooves.
and then as my bonus action, I'm going to use
Big guy.
Constellation of the Dragon.
Okay. So behind you, there is the explosion of celestial light, and all around you, there is this glowing element that does so bright here. It is getting steadily more increased. These little bits of alexandrite that seem to be reacting and luminescing when you take this starlight form. It is bright enough to around you cast some additional light. And for those of you who had any doubt that you had been spotted before, the attention is firmly anchored in the direction of Minka now.
Yep.
But anything else, Minka?
Okay, so that was my movement action, bonus action. They have their instructions. And you know what? No, that's an action. Never mind. We're good.
Okay, that is
It's an
your
action
turn.
for them to turn invisible, so they can't move there. Yeah.
That brings us to the top of the round. Valis, you are up, or you're on deck, and then Billy, you are after that.
Is this the one in the hunger?
Correct.
Is he like?
I think it's basically double this, right?
It like literally it crosses about halfway through him and
Yeah.
the other ogre.
Can he?
Oh,
If I attack him, do I have advantage because he can't see?
Yes.
That one.
Well, I wanted to put it here because I wanted to separate these two like fields of
Right.
Yeah. And it basically half overlaps each of them, which
so
is enough to catch them.
these are
They're going to
guys.
easily be able to get out of it.
Right.
But it separates them from each other.
But they take some damage at the start of their turn, right?
They
Oh, yeah.
sure do.
All right, so I'll attack him twice, and I have advantage because he's in the darkness. Natural 20. We smiting.
Get him.
Oh, smite natural 20. So nice.
Smite
That's what
away,
spell
baby.
slots are for when you're a paladin, right?
Really is.
No, dispel magic on the soul.
All right,
why I
let's
put
see.
I know. We all know.
We can all recognize a resource sink.
Is this fiend or undead?
Is this fiend or undead? It is not. It is. Who are you casting this on?
Oh, I am attacking this guy, this ogre.
Oh, that is a
Or
giant.
They're
giant.
friends.
Not friend in my friend shape. All right, so that is D6 and then 3D8 plus a number. All right,
Times
so
two.
let's see.
Times 2 on the die.
Yeah. 3, 17, 34, plus 5, 39. 39 PC radiant damage.
39 piercing radiant damage. That's a tremendous amount. And as you slam into them, and that's with doubling on the dice and everything?
That is already having double
Okay.
the dice.
You slam this into them, and there is a bright explosion of light. You can see, Minka, for a second, everybody focuses on you, and then there's an even brighter explosion that it kind of sets off against the darkness of Hunger of the Hunt. And so there are just very definitive zones of color and no color here. But Valis, you can see the clothes and elements are just ignited on this person. They are still up, but that is a substantial amount of damage. And they are like trying to pat the fire out, even though it is radiant and not responsive. They just continue to try. All the goblins on their back scream and hiss.
Oh,
but,
good.
Yeah,
I mean, no, I'm not worried. I attack him again.
go for it.
Second attack. Oh, 19 on the die.
19 on the die, that is a hit.
I'm gonna guess that's gonna hit, and let's see. 8 regular old magical piercing damage.
Alrighty. Anything else, Valis?
Is this guy still up?
He is. You hit him once, and as he's ignited in radiant flame, you hit him again. He barely even notices. And as you strike him that second time, he like flicks his arm off, just still yelling and trying to put the fire out. But he's still up.
All right, and then I'm going to tell all of my mining supplies to attack that guy I just attacked.
Okay, get
I
him,
didn't put him on the
boys.
board because it's really crowded, so I'm just gonna.
Yeah.
Can we just say they're there,
No worries.
floating around? All right.
No worries.
Do you want for either sake just have them go after me?
Because this
Theater of the
octopus
little
can
mini
be-
mind.
each of the tentacles is indicative of one of the stones or little pickaxes.
Oh yeah, now it's back to
not
Hunger
fair at all.
of Hadar.
Oh no.
So mining supplies, you want to just say it's like 5 medium objects and
Yeah,
5
makes
small
sense.
objects?
I would say,
Sorry, 5 small and 5 tiny.
yeah, that makes sense. And
Okay.
the tinier pythons and the smaller, the
Like the
pickaxes.
shovel, the
shovels.
pickaxes, the hammers. All right, so I'm just gonna roll those attacks. You want to just have them? Sorry, did you want? Is it okay if they just go after me?
Yeah.
All right.
I think that's easiest, honestly, unless there's something that specifically says you roll for initiative like a familiar. And that matters more because familiar's primary role is the help action, and that you need to be. It helps.
What do you mean my primary role?
14,
helpful.
20,
pity.
22, 23, 23.
And those were for the that is against
giant.
the big guy.
Guess the big guy.
What was the
Added
lowest
big.
one?
The lowest one was a 14.
Those all hit.
Those all hit. All right.
He's getting
That will be 1, 2,
bullied.
3, 4, 5, 9, 12. What's that? 12, 32. Regular old piercing or bludgeoning damage, depending on the implement.
So you smite him. And there's this fire, and you just hear. And he's like trying to put it out. You stab him, but he barely notices, and then ching, 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 slides up, and you just he is just cut down and falls to the ground. And horrifyingly, the goblins now with their little hands try to like drag him over. They are tiny and almost crushed underneath his bulk, but all still very much alive. The ogre himself is dead.
Okay. I have.
Billy seems absolutely disgusted, not at the fact that the goblins are still alive, but that she didn't get in on that.
Yeah.
Because she's just got a teeny little goblin.
There's 5 more objects that haven't attacked,
gonna
and
be
they would
okay.
attack the
Lots
same
more.
ogre. Does it matter, or can we just skip that?
You can attack the goblins.
Sure.
Yeah.
All right. They're the same
them out of
creature.
their misery.
They are technically the same creature, so
Same, but different.
They are. They are an
I
amalgam,
rolled something wrong here.
a collective.
All right.
Chimera.
These rolls aren't as good.
It's a
9.
dog.
That is a miss.
11.
That is a miss.
Let's see. 14,
That is also a miss.
and then 18.
That is a hit.
Okay, that's 1 hit.
As you go and try to strike, these little like pythons are zooming through the air, trying to strike the goblins. And as one is about to hit one dead in the face, they just go, no! And they take a bit of fat from this ogre and just yank it over top. And that just catches this dagger. They're
8 damage.
and then it strikes them right in the face. And they are like, it severs elements of the jaw, which like hangs open. They're still alive, but that is a tremendous amount of damage for them.
That's rough.
That was a terrible roll. That was like 3, 5, 5, 8. Anyways,
that's
I'm done.
No problem. There is a shrieking goblin now that is half buried under the corpse of this ogre, but that is your turn, Valis. That brings us to Ori, and then Billy, you're on deck.
Now Billy is disgusted by the sight.
I'm gonna move over to Shaw so that I can get a shot on this guy. And I don't understand Giant, but I understand when someone is barking orders. So I'm gonna try to aim for
That's
his
the elephant
throat.
one.
Sure.
Translate for the group.
Make it so that they can't.
You'll
do
never
that.
know how badly he wanted your.
Man, Billis
That's a natural 20. I'm gonna get a superiority die. I'm gonna use one of the charges because it's gonna reach
Go
up.
for it. Roll damage. Yeah, that's definitely a hit.
And I'm gonna make it a menacing attack.
Okay.
Frighten. So it's a DC 17. Wisdom save.
Yeah, we're a very like weird team.
7.
Okay. He's
It's only
frightened
just now
of me.
turn 2.
No, it's just like the more we play, the higher level we get, and the more we see our abilities.
okay.
We're all just different kinds
So
of
that's-
control, fighting each other for control. And then Cheshire shows up and is like, I am the dominant one.
So that's
That's accurate.
46.
No, we didn't make leader characters.
46 points of damage, 2 of which is fire, the rest is magical piercing.
This strikes and sinks straight into the gorget and breaks the metal in half. The actual bolt itself sinks into their throat, and you can see for a second they just go, and they just rip it straight out, throw it on the ground. Doesn't seem as effective as you would imagine. There is still blood like burbling through, but they seem relatively unfazed as they're still looking around, ignoring you for
Wait,
this
so they
wherever
weren't
these
frightened?
hooves were. They do not seem frightened.
Take that ring back.
But they
She says no,
failed
thank
to
you.
save.
Correct. It seems as if frightening does not work against
Yeah.
them.
Okay, and then
woman. No
bonus
frightened
action,
man.
I'm going to hide.
Okay, make your stealth check.
Like, kind of drop down to make my way, behind the wall.
Okay, you can hear all this like flitting and kind of it sounds almost like there's wings nearby, but that's not possible. But you just duck down, hearing some kind of movement, just trying to get away from it.
Stealth. 12.
12.
Oh, buddy.
It's dark here, and
Roll
luckily
a 2.
it's really the darkness that's keeping you safe more than your stealth. But no problem. Anything else, Ori?
That's it.
All right. That is your turn, Ori. That brings us to Billy.
Okay, so that ogre there is dead.
Correct. Yeah, you can yank him off the board. Those goblins are all crushed under his bulk, but still very much there.
Okay.
How many of them are still there?
3.
Okay.
Other ogre.
Yeah.
Good? Like alive? The other one that's here-ish. us.
Untouched.
Yeah, untouched.
Untouched.
Untouched? And within melee distance of Alice? Or
Yes.
like needs a...
Yeah, he tried to slam me
You touch
earlier.
it.
Okay.
What you doing, Billy?
My plans have changed because Valis obliterated the ogre.
There's another ogre. Oh, it's on the other side.
No, I had a plan. Billy had a plan. Billy's gonna go over, and as she goes, oh wait, hold on. I just remembered we're in a cave. I can't do this.
When you can.
No, I cannot. Billy is going to instead. Can Billy see the goblin that's up on top of that bridge there?
Yeah.
The top.
You
top
would
is-
need to get a little closer, but yeah, you can just kind of.
Okay, Billy's gonna go with OG plan and before Dimension Door, an Eldritch Blast the gobbo that's up there.
Oh yeah, go ahead. Love that.
That is the one that shot you.
So the lowest is a 17.
That is a hit.
All right, so they both hit. I wasn't expecting them to hit, so I don't have dice ready. I apologize.
That's okay.
You need to have more confidence in yourself.
I have history. So that is 13 points of force damage, and they are pulled forward 10 feet.
Okay, so they are just pulled off their feet and they tumble.
Are they alive?
They are alive. Hang on.
Into the hunger fest.
Into the hunger.
I
They
think
do
it's like
take some damage as
10
they fall. and
10
it's
feet
a
down.
decent amount of damage. But they still, as they hit the ground, you hear a crack of bone. Something snaps, but they are still up. You can hear screaming coming from them.
They're in the hunger now.
Did they take damage when they enter the hunger?
No, just at the start of their turn when they're there, and at the end of their turn if they are there.
But good news. Guess who acts after me?
Anything else, Billy?
Let's go ahead and throw a hex on that guy who's close to Valis.
Okay.
This one?
Yeah, and we'll say
I think it's been a while.
we'll say dexterity checks.
Okay.
Purple.
It
Bright
wasn't
purpley.
here.
The hex itself just gathers around the legs, almost lassoing the knees and kind of hamstringing them.
We could also
a
do
little bit.
curse.
Anything else, Billy?
That is everything.
All right, that brings us to the ogres, of whom 2 are affected by the hunt. Or no, sorry, 1 is affected by the hunt. How much damage do they take at the start of their turn?
2d6 cold. So that's going to be 7 points of cold damage
Okay, give me 1 second.
to any creature who starts.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, I gotta
Hang
tell you.
on here.
Just noticed.
So that is going to be 7 for the ogre. That is 7 for all 3 of the grafts on his back. You hear screeching from them, and then the ones that are on the ground are also taking 7 points of damage. So underneath the bulk of this ogre that they have been sutured to, they are now slowly freezing to death underneath. But that is fantastic. The ogres.
And melting from the acid.
They're also blind.
Eventually.
Afterwards.
The acid hasn't happened yet, but they are blinded, and it's difficult terrain.
Yeah. So this guy is going to kind of, just to make their life a little easier, tuck in right here.
Crossbreeze.
This one, with Hunger of the Hunt kind of leaping over their face, they're going to back up. Can you back them up 10 feet?
This
So
one?
that they're just out of the hunt?
Boop, boop. This guy coming with me?
Yep. And then this other one, who is not as smart and much more brave, unfortunately, is just going to charge straight into the Hunger of the Hunt. And how is their movement slowed?
It's once he enters, it's difficult terrain.
Okay. And so he is going to, you hear from within, why is this so hard? And he is going to, as an action, run and continue to move forwards. And he just emerges in this cloud of objects. And as he bursts forwards, he is going to probably just start, on his next turn, swinging at these objects. But it just emerges, and there are just like pythons whizzing by his face, and like a shovel goes into him.
Did he have more than 80 points of movement?
Yes, he does.
ran.
Oh, wow.
He ran. He action dashed.
He's a big one.
Yeah, he has quite a foot stride as well. That is the ogre's movement. So the one that moved back is going to try to track somebody, and with Hunger of the Hunt there, I don't think it'd see anybody. They saw where Ori went. What do they have for Ori?
They got like half covered.
Okay, well, damn.
I'm sneaky.
He is just not able to see, and so he is just going to go for some high ground here.
Didn't he just jump up, down?
He did, and he's actually,
He's just doing this stuff.
with his movement, he doesn't quite get to the top. He has like one arm on the top, and he's like still going up. But he has to take a longer route around.
Just taking the big step-o-matic.
The one who is kind of back in this direction, though, there's so much happening.
There's like so much chaos around him.
Now, for those of you watching at home, we are indeed fighting something.
It's just all the action that's happening.
Let's see if we can
in
move
this
it this
zone.
way.
I don't. It's
If
not
you
going to
can
help
see the
because
octopus.
it's so far off.
Yeah, it doesn't matter.
So Valis, this huge ogre, is going to turn and just look down at you.
Sup?
And with the Hunger of the Hunt kind of engulfing everybody else over there, they're not really able to see very much, but they can see you. And so you can see the head looks back, and they just say, I need his strength. And they point to you, and you can see the goblins look real nervous, but then their eyes roll black, and the whites just become
Oof.
pitch black. and they reach out towards you, and it's like the mouths open up. The teeth in each of their mouths shatter outwards as these black, smoky tendrils go towards you.
I
Can you make a
like that.
dexterity saving throw?
I don't
please?
like
Oh,
that.
I hate this so much.
I want to be the only one who has tendrils. They're over in the hunger. It's in the spell description.
Look at my tendrils!
17. Dexterity?
You can't because they're magical darkness.
Is it 17?
17.
That is a success.
Nice.
Because this sounds terrible for my health.
Doesn't sound great.
So, Valis, you only take 10 points of necrotic damage.
Is this a spell?
This is a spell, so only 5 points of necrotic damage. And as it crackles through you, for a moment you feel as if it tries to leach into your bones and into your muscles and into your very soul, almost digging deep and kind of anchoring there. But digging into your aura of protection, you ward it off and dispel this energy, and it doesn't take root. You don't feel a permanent lowering of your life. But it seems to be almost like caught off guard as you are able to withstand this ability. That is all that the ogres can do. He had to run. That's all the ogres can do. That brings us to the goblins. So,
To them takes 2d6. Or sorry, the ones who are in.
yeah, go ahead, roll.
So that's going to be 7 points of cold damage for each. Did any of the ogres end in Hunger Vidar? They didn't, right? Because he stepped out.
The big guy did actually.
Yeah,
He
big
did,
guy needs to
okay.
take damage.
So he takes 11 points of acid damage as well.
It only seems to be about half as much as you would hope.
day.
And all the goblins that are pinned under, too, right?
Yes.
Yes. And that's 8, you said?
11.
11. One of those goblin voices is silenced, but the other two are still very much up.
my
You can
God.
hear the crackling as the ice crystals are closing their throats, but they're still up.
You gotta say it like that.
It is the goblins' turn, however, and so in what is perhaps their dying breath, they're going to be doing some stuff here.
They took the 7 points of cold for the start of this
They
turn.
did, yeah, one of them died.
Probably the one I poked.
The one I pulled into the.
Yeah, the one that was down.
Oh, that one. That thing.
Dallas, can you make
That's what I'm taking off.
5 intelligence saving throws, please?
That's a lot.
And then
You was smart.
from 2 goblins that are kind of being crushed on the ground, and then 3 that are attached to this one.
Do they have to be able to see me to do this thing to me?
Not.
Oh my god, I hate. Okay. 5?
Yes.
Alright. Alright,
Oh,
so.
That's a single digit.
Yeah, that one's not good.
Another nat
So
one,
9,
but it doesn't matter.
Okay.
11, 13, and the next is 18.
Okay, only 2 failures.
Okay.
And so you're only taking 6 points of psychic damage, halved to 3.
Hooray.
And can you roll 2 d4s?
Let me just take the 3 damage. 3 again.
3 again. Your next save is reduced by 3. But that is all of those goblins. The only other ones are technically in range of Ori, but they don't see Ori.
A concentration check is a save? Question mark?
Yes.
So that's a trap. Okay. I'm pretty sure I am still concentrating.
Nice. You hold that concentration. Again, these objects just almost falter. The other goblins have no target, really, because I guess they can see Alina.
Hello.
Okay, so Alina,
Let's
you are
remember
taking...
Sorry, I know you know this, but it goes 20
Yeah.
feet up also.
Yeah.
So they would have to. I am flying quite high.
Yeah, one of them is going to take an attack at disadvantage. The other one is just flat. The flat one is a natural 1, and so you hear a crossbow break in the distance. At a disadvantage, they are only going to roll a 9, and so you are very far away. They are unable to reach you. That is all the goblins. That is all the ogres. That brings us to Alina. Minka, you're on deck. This little arrow past you as this breaks. What do you want to do?
Okay. Lena would like to try to help Valis, and so she is going to cast on this ogre there. That's next to Valix. She's going to cast Hunter's Interdiction. So this is going to be a strength save. I know he's probably very strong, but strength save DC 18.
Figure out how strong this is in here. That is a 25.
Alina's like, man. And
It is a 6-second long. Man.
yeah. And then because that didn't work, she's gonna go, hey, over here, and she's gonna fly down, and just get like right behind him to try to get his attention, to give Valis a breather.
As you're flying, there's flying little pythons and rope, and then there are other invisible creatures also like by in one direction. So, I mean, there is a tremendous amount happening back here. There's air traffic really for like one of the first times in any encounter for you.
So they're flying things?
Minka's
Are they
little
Minka's
creatures,
things?
yeah.
Okay.
But they're invisible, so you're feeling them. You're not really seeing them. That is your turn, Alina.
Yep. And do I get the spell slot back? I do not.
Unfortunate. Minka, what would you like to do?
All right. So we'll start with the pixies doing their thing. So these guys are going to continue their journey.
Okay.
So they can see stuff.
Go over and touch him.
Head up here.
Just hold his hand.
These guys, one is going to head stay over here.
Okay.
This guy is actually going to get a little bit further away from the
Hunger of the hunt, yeah, sure.
And these guys will stay in this general area but head higher up. So they're still within like melee range of this guy. But there's up more. Okay, so they are going to take shots at creatures. So these two are gonna try to aim for this guy.
Okay.
This guy is gonna shoot this way.
Okay.
We'll start there.
Yeah, good call.
We'll do one chunk of them at a time.
But there's so many things on the field now, so no one can see me.
Okay, so that is. This guy got a 12 to hit the goblin.
That is a miss.
Okay, and then this one got a 19 to hit the goblin.
That is a hit.
Okay, and then this guy rolled a 6 to hit that guy.
That is a miss, unfortunately.
Unfortunate. Okay, so it's one hit. So move those out of the way. And then I'm gonna see if anything else hits. We have these 4 here, so they're all aiming for the big guy.
Okay.
So we'll just take care of that. They all rolled like utter shit. The highest one is a 13.
That is a miss, unfortunately.
So they all fucking miss, but they're all visible now. So there's one hit in that whole bunch.
Hey, you know what? Every little bit counts.
Yep.
So
Okay.
of the barrage of 8 different shots, one of them lands true.
Yep. So it is a ranged piercing damage, but it only does 1 damage. But they must succeed on a DC 10 Constitution saving throw or become poisoned for 1 minute.
That is going to be 4.
Okay, if the saving throw result is 5 or lower, the poison target falls unconscious for the same duration or
Nice.
until it takes damage.
So he just drops. It only hits one person, and it is unfortunately this goblin. But this goblin, fucking unconscious. If somebody could put the sleep token on them,
I
they're
don't think we have one.
oh
We have unconscious, though.
unconscious. Yeah, sorry. That works.
And then Mink is gonna move 10 feet this way. And then also going to move
That's phenomenal.
20 feet up. So I will, because I'm far enough off the side here, I'm gonna use one of the bigger dudes.
Is this a thing of the dragon?
Yeah, I can fly.
Yeah.
Oh.
So Minky, you take to the air. Anything else?
So that was their action. I'm just gonna put this out there. And then for my action, I'm gonna survey the field here.
Okay.
I'd just be like, oh, this is a nightmare of things. Gonna cast guiding bolt on this big guy.
Okay, make your attack roll.
just gonna be over there. It's fine. I missed my tower. I hit the thing.
You and Kara both did a surprising amount.
Shush. Very good at aiming. That's a 26 to hit.
26 hits. Yeah.
So for guiding bolt at first level.
That's a very narrow opening, and this is a very narrow rolling tray.
No, for sure.
Okay, so it is 4d6 at next
Hey,
level.
I built this one and then I used it as a box.
So that is a total of 16 points of radiant damage, and they are glowing.
It doesn't seem to do as much as you would hope, but they are glowing.
Yep. For bonus action, I don't think I have good bonus actions available to me right now. So, no, we do not. Okay.
Okay.
That's it.
That brings us to the top of the round and to Valis. Aura, you're on deck.
I'll attack the one that's in front of me.
I'm not this high, but
I just have an ogre with 3 gobbles on his back, right?
Yeah.
Alright, so I'll attack him. So that will be a
We swear, there's stuff happening off screen.
21 and then a 27 to hit.
21 hits, 27 hits.
Alright. 8 and then 9 magical piercing. And then as I attack, I'm gonna say to him in Goblin, no, my strength is mine and mine alone.
No problem. So you say this to the goblins as you go forwards. And that you were attacking the ogre, correct?
Yeah, the ogre who wanted my strength.
So you slam into this individual. As you do, they have to recoil. That is a decent amount of damage for them.
And a very cool line.
Very much so. You get the sense that they probably don't understand what you're saying. They don't react in a way that's like, oh my gosh, that's good. But
Oh wait, I say it in Goblin. I mean, so not Goblin, Giant.
Very nice.
I say it in Giant.
So they recoil at both the words and the action. But that is your turn, Valis.
Bonus action, I tell my menagerie of mining supplies to now attack this ogre.
Okay.
And then they will just do that. So all the small things will attack him. And they get... let's see. Oh, not that one.
Oh, say it so.
Does a 14 hit?
This is against the ogre.
Yeah.
14 hits.
Okay, does a 12 hit?
12 hits.
Okay, then I get 5 hits then, because all of those are above
There you
that.
go.
They're big and they're naked.
They are very big, and the most armor that they have is goblin.
30 damage.
Oh.
30 regular old bludgeoning damage.
Very nice. And
So that's
with
all the
30
Titans.
damage. These just slide across him. He recoils as you say that your power is your own. And then as he recoils, there is just mining supplies that go across his face,
Half
his
mining
throat.
supplies.
He like rolls his hands up and it slices across his fingers. One of them just cracks and hangs down. That's a lot of damage. And so as he pulls his hands and he swats away, there's just flesh coming off and staying in the vicinity. But they're still up.
That was just only half the mining supplies.
Go ahead and
I'm
roll.
just rolling them half and half. to make
Yeah,
it
go
easier.
for it. That's a lot.
So that was all the small stuff. Now it's like the mediums. That was the tiny stuff. This is now the small stuff. So like all the pickaxes and the shovels.
Yeah.
Oh no, the crabbots!
He pulls the hands down, and for reference, he has 2 health left. And so he right now, he goes like that. He's like, that's all you got? Bone and like jagged nubs of fingers. The entirety of his hands are gone, and you can see the eyes are like getting big as he's realizing this in this moment.
The lowest is a 13.
They all hit.
So there'll be another 5 hits for 10, and then he's probably dead, right?
Yeah,
Do you need this number?
No, we don't.
Okay.
That's plenty. He had 3 health left, and so you absolutely eviscerate him. The hands are like completely gone, and then you see that dumb look just freeze on his face, and he falls forwards. A pickaxe just lodged in the back.
Do the ones that don't need to hit, can they hit the goblins?
I believe you would have 3 more if you want to use those and redirect them against the goblins, as long as they're in range, which they should be.
Sure. I'll just read off the damage. It would have been 3, 3, 10, 10, 10.
3, 3, 10, 10, 10.
From that barrage of small mining supplies.
Give me 1 second here. Goblins are 3, 3, 10, 10, and 10. on the ground, finally, the two goblins who have these kind of like frozen throats, who have been like just crushed underneath this ogre.
This is the different one.
Oh, unfortunate. They're all alive. As these just dig into them, there are these like shovels that whack into them, and you could just hear, ow, ah! And they're still up. This ogre is like dead, but most of the goblins that are attached to both of them still very much up.
Arguably, this is a mercy killing for the goblins.
Except you haven't killed many of them.
We're trying, man.
That is Valis, your turn. Mm-hmm. Alrighty, that brings us to Ori. Billy, you're on deck.
I'll be like, boop. I see this guy now? Palanquin guy that I've been hitting?
Oh, yeah.
Cool. I'm gonna shoot him in the back of the head. Or
You can see there's just this array of tiny starlight creatures that are up on that ridge, and then beyond them, this huge hulking palanquin-backed creature.
28 to hit.
That hits.
And and he already has a charge.
Yeah, a roll of 2 probably would have hit.
Another charge.
Can we just like pretend like he still glows just so Billy has a better chance?
All right, those are pretty good numbers.
It goes to the person of greatest need.
That is
fire.
indeed how guiding bolt works. If you have too much need, it kills you.
18 magical piercing.
Very nice.
Billy hasn't had enough benefit from guiding bolt.
Big boy.
Yeah, that sinks into them. There is that as the mark gets even brighter, but they don't seem to take as much damage as you would hope. It still is a pretty significant amount in total. But for all of you, the damage that you have dealt to this large armored creature seems to be digging into them and breaking off bits of armor, not dealing the full amount to them. So far, any of you, with any of your assorted damage types, for what it's worth.
What else I can do with my damage types, though?
Anything else, Ori?
I'm going to slink back into the shadows and bonus action hide.
Stealth check.
That's cocked. That's also cocked. Natural 20.
Very nice.
So
You do. Into the darkness. That is your turn, Ori, and that brings us to Billy.
So now that this guy isn't guiding bolted anymore because it was taken by the guy who doesn't need the advantage, can I see him?
Yeah.
Great.
Where you are... yeah, you have to, like, maybe tuck, like, 5 feet more to the left.
Nice, is that you?
Can you put a hex token on him now? Yes, he is now hexed. Dexterity. And Billy is going to move to within melee striking distance.
Okay.
And melee on.
Milady.
On melee?
Oh god, 15 for both.
And that is against the large ogre.
The biggie.
You slide to the side and just... and you hit straight into the armor and just ricochet right off. 15
Fuck you,
is a
man.
little too early. If only you had advantage.
The same damn time.
Anything else, Billy?
Move back.
And you're running back?
Going back behind the rock.
That will provoke an attack of opportunity.
Fuck no, never mind. Just gonna stand here and think about my life choices.
Okay. So you look up and you're like, man, these are maybe not the best. But that is your turn, Billy. That brings us to
I hate Ori
the
so much.
ogres. Yeah. So, this ogre still hasn't seen Ori.
You had that guy! You could have got that guy! Why'd you have to get my guy? You didn't need it!
I've been going after the same guy the whole time!
That's the only guy I got!
You know what? He's gonna dash.
Guy's over there.
He's gonna dash, run, and try to climb up.
What?
We're going to fall prey. Natural 1 on his athletics check.
More advantage!
Straight down. And I will say, Ori, as he like hits the ground, you can see one of the goblins in slow motion as they're falling. You can hear, oh. The goblin is like, no! He turns and he locks eyes with you, and he's like, no, no. And he gets swirled, and this other ogre just lands and crushes that goblin. And you feel like probably that goblin is unconscious or otherwise indisposed of. But that's roll that They are not aware of you yet. That particular ogre
Damn,
is not able
that's
to do. The hunger of the hunt is really fucking him up because he can't see over it, and so he can't see anything.
It's almost like that.
It's been very
This hunger
effective
has
for
been
him.
clutch.
The larger ogre, who is right in the middle now, is going to turn to Billy, who is the most recent person to attack.
Fuck
and not
you!
needing to move, they will take a full attack against you. Billy, you can see they grin and they go, "Hooves can wait." And they're going to reach up with their arms and they're going to just Donkey Kong punch you as hard as they can. Just like, this is 3 slam attacks.
Oh, this Billy is not amused.
Billy, on the lower end, that is going to be an 18 to hit.
All of them hit.
Alrighty. Billy, this individual is a brute, which is accounted for in the damage. From the first one, that's cocked. That is going to be 19 points of bludgeoning damage.
Okay.
The second one, that is going to be 17 points of bludgeoning damage. And from the
Alright.
third,
56.
that is only going to be 18 points of bludgeoning damage. As they just pummel you again and again and again. The first fist, the second one, the third one.
Still up.
Almost knocking you into the ground. But they stretch up and you can see they say, "Get him!" And nothing happens. And they look back at their paladin.
Fuck you! And the Hellish Rebuke.
Right, that's a dex save?
Yeah.
The
Very
enemies
nice.
are missed.
What is the hex -2?
I'm sorry?
Hex
It's checks.
12?
No. Alright. That's Hexblade's Curse. That's not what I wanted. Hold, please. I need to look up the damage.
No worries.
I think it's 2d10.
No. It's 3d10. 10, 20 points of fire damage.
Wow. And though it doesn't do the amount that you would hope that it does, that's still pretty substantial. They're starting to look rough. And as you use Hellish Rebuke, after they pummel you
Billy's
3
also
times,
starting to look rough.
there is this fire that almost immediately dies down, but you can see there are parts of their armor that are beginning to glow hot. And you imagine that fire is like licking underneath the actual armor itself, still doing damage. But anything else, Billy?
That was not my
I
turn.
know, that was your Hellish Rebuke. That is the ogres. That brings us to the goblins.
Are any of them still in the...
One of them is, yes.
Hell yeah.
No, sorry. 2 of them are.
Hell yeah. All right, enjoy 6 points of cold damage. Really?
So 2 more goblins are gone. All of the goblins that were under that first ogre are now officially dead.
Thank goodness.
The one who is unconscious, I believe, remains unconscious. Oh, gosh, Valis. There are 2 that are going to take... They can't see fucking anything.
Sorry, I missed the joke.
It's okay. I'm just over here amusing myself as I die.
You'll be fine.
I don't know what to do, so
Eventually.
I'm just holding on to it.
It needs to get like screwed in.
Those goblins are running.
Someone's getting screwed.
Yeah. Joe does have the magic touch. with the
I
hammer.
do. I can always get that if you need me to.
Is it upside down?
Yeah, but it's supposed to be.
Okay,
I
good.
have it reversed for the actual
Don't breathe,
thing
don't
to make
breathe.
it.
Makes sense.
Anyways, you guys are making me so anxious. The goblins begin to move and kind of run. The 2 that are still alive under the ogre that was most recently felled at the feet of Valis are going to take attacks against you, Valis. Can you make first an intelligence saving throw?
Just one this time.
Just one. I'm running out of goblins.
Let's see. So that's a 15
back
on the
now.
die. So that's gonna be
That's gonna be a success.
Okay.
So you only take 3 points of psychic damage, half to 1. And then, with nothing else to do, can you make a dexterity saving throw, please? As you see first a bubbling on the top of this ogre, and then a brief light from within, and then the flesh explodes out as they cast lightning bolt through the ogre to both free themselves and strike you.
11.
11 is a save.
Yes.
That is a failure, unfortunately. Give me 1 second here. Malice. You are taking 28 points of lightning damage, half because of your aura
time.
to 14. And the ogre just explodes. Their chest erupting over you. There is steaming ogre flesh that gets into your hair and into your eyes. You kind of shield to the side, but you could hear this goblin just like choking as the ogre gets back down on them and begins to kind of implode on himself. That is all the goblins.
Are those goblins dead because of the ogre exploding or not?
No, so like that was for flavor. They're not technically trapped under the ogre, but for flavor they are. So when they cast a lightning bolt, it has to go through the ogre to get you.
Gotcha.
But
Still concentrating. We're still mining.
there you go. Still concentrating. That is all the goblins, and that does bring us to Alina. Minka, you're on deck.
All right. Best friend Billy is in trouble, and Valis seems to be taking care of himself. So Alina's gonna skirt over this way, and then from up here, it's gonna be a couple of Eldritch Blasts.
Yeah, good.
Big guy.
Make your attack roll.
And again, she's gonna be like, "Hey, I'm up here. Something about you wanted my hooves or something." 27 and a 24.
Those both hit. Are you actually yelling that?
Oh, I don't know that. I didn't know that he
Oh,
said
that's a
he
good
wanted
point.
my hooves.
Right, yeah.
But I am trying to get his attention.
Yeah, for sure.
Heard you like feet.
Subscribe to my OnlyFans.
Look up, there's feet.
That ogre's name is
Okay, 17 points of force damage and 4 bludgeoning.
17 and 4.
Got it.
1. Very nice. It does seem like it's not as much as you would hope, but anything
Not even
else?
force damage?
Not even force damage.
Okay, she's gonna be like, "What are you not weak to?"
You yelled that out.
her
They
turn.
still seem to be ignoring you in
Yeah.
favor of Billy at this point.
Yeah,
but
yeah.
That is your turn. That brings us to Minka.
Wait, they're visibly ignoring me?
only palms.
They don't seem to be They're not like actively ignoring you, but their focus seems to be pretty limited.
Okay, with the rest of my movement, then after I do that, I'm going to fly up into his face.
That definitely catches
Yeah,
their attention.
okay.
And suddenly there now.
Hey, I'm here. Hello.
Focused on you.
Hello,
The eyes
listen.
zoom down to the hooves.
Yeah.
And they point. But that
No
is
pedals gone.
your turn, Alina. Minka, what would you like to do?
All right.
Valis, you're on deck.
There. It can swing around this way.
Y'all remember when we were just casually gonna go to the fortress of the frozen Dreadlord, like we weren't gonna use resources along the way?
It'll be fine.
All right. The hunt is
still so
blocking this,
much
or is he outside? the hunt?
The hunt is blocking that.
Okay.
But that
So-
would be like a 30-foot path. It's made of goblins.
Oh, that's actually a good point.
Okay. So this group of guys is going to be attacking. So these four, are gonna be attacking, these three are going to be attacking these guys.
Okay.
So they're going to target the whichever one they can see better. So this one.
Yeah, for that, for sure.
Yeah. Okay.
It's going to be 2 on the one on the right and 1 on the one on the left.
Okay, so we'll start there. All right, so I'm assuming there's definitely two misses, but this one might hit. So the first 2 miss because
Okay.
I rolled a 4 and a 3 and a
Yep.
+6. I don't think that hits. But does an 18 hit?
An 18 does hit.
Okay, so it's 1 point of damage, DC 10, poison saving throw from their
That is
constitution.
going to be a success. That is a 19.
Okay, so they take 1 point of damage and survive. Yeah. So these guys are gonna do this. So they're gonna continue targeting this guy. So we have 2 here.
Okay.
So 2 in front. So the 2 in front are just gonna stab him.
Okay.
And these 2 will shoot. So it's
Yeah.
Or using like little tiny crossbows. The little tiny crossbows don't work great right there.
They're pedal.
that's
Yeah, they
missed
are
it.
though.
I did miss that.
Okay, so the lowest is 11.
11.
Yeah.
11 is going to be a miss.
Okay, so that's a miss. The next one is a 15.
15 is a miss.
Okay, next one is a 17.
17 meets a pizza.
Okay. So 17, and then they'll also hit, so we'll say the 2 stabby attacks miss. So it's 1, 2, 3, 4. So these guys, so it's 2 DC 10 Constitution saving throws and 2 points of damage.
The lowest one, the lowest one is only gonna be a 7.
Ooh, he is poisoned.
Who's poisoned?
This guy, big guy's poisoned. All
There's a
right.
poison drink.
Is it this one? The one that says poison.
So these little tiny arrows just hum through the air, and he doesn't even react. You don't hear an owl from this
poison condition
individual,
card.
but they do kind of swoon for a second when one of those strikes, and it does seem to have taken effect.
And then Minka is gonna fly down to Billy and be like, "Oh dear." So, beginning of her turn, she will switch to the chalice, head down to Billy, cast Cure Wounds at a 2nd level
Nice.
on Billy, and
Appreciate.
Billy, you got pummeled into the ground, and then there is a brief bit of relief at the end.
all right, that is many
It's like
things
someone
to
put
roll.
an ice pack on a broken limb.
So I will be getting to rolling, and that'll be the end.
Okay, no worries. So that brings us to the end of Minka's turn and to the top of the next round. And because it is 9 o'clock, we're going to step away for a quick break before we end this session. So you will see a countdown on your screen, and we'll see you at the end of it. Goodbye. And we're back. Thank you for sticking with us to the break if you did. If not, welcome to D&D. We're going to jump right back into combat.
Boom.
So at the top of the round here, as you are brawling against these ogres with several goblins sutured into their shoulders, and one much larger ogre just roaring and slamming Billy into the ground in the middle of this hunger of the hunt.
Fine.
That is where we begin with Valis, then Ori, then Billy, and then the ogres. Valis, what you doing?
Alright, it's my turn. Alright, can I get behind this ogre to flank him with the positioning
You'll
of
put
the
yourself
hunger?
into the hunger of the hunt.
Okay, then that kind of really defeats the purpose of the flank. What if I put myself right?
You can you can step in, but you would have to leave again in order to not take damage.
Yeah, but then I wouldn't be able to see.
Yeah.
And
You're
that
fine. Never mind.
Alright, I'll just move up to this guy. How far up are you flying? You said up here in front of his face?
Yeah, I'm like
15 feet.
as tall as he is right now.
15 feet.
So I'll stand under.
Okay. Directly underneath Alina.
Yeah, for
Ready
reasons.
to catch the hooves.
And let's see. And I will
Shoulder prong.
attack this guy.
All right.
That would hurt.
Let's see. 14 to hit. Sorry, no, I can't do math. 17 to hit.
That is going to be meets it, beats it.
Nice. And then a 20 to hit.
20 hits, absolutely.
Okay. Alright, so then 8 magical piercing and then 10 magical piercing.
And 10 magical piercing.
18
All right.
magical piercing altogether.
No worries. You are able to, as you kind of get in front of them underneath where Alina is, you are basically stabbing into their shin and knee. And as those do dig in, it still doesn't seem to be doing the full amount of damage. But as you look up at them, they have taken a tremendous number and variety of blows. They have burns, they have little bits of frozen elements, places where their skin is kind of bruising from force damage. They're starting to look pretty rough, but they're still up.
Okay. Free action. I'm gonna say to Alina, be careful. For some reason, this guy wants your hooves. And I'll say that in common.
And you can see right now, he's like looking at your moves.
And then I will direct half of my mining supply menagerie to attack this guy that I'm fighting. So all the medium objects are still gonna attack the gobbles that are still alive.
Okay,
and
sure, yeah.
Still into the thing. So let's see. That's these.
I would say they have advantage for these attacks. These goblins are pinned underneath an ogre.
Oh wait, that makes
they're
it more complicated.
technically
Okay.
Sutured to.
Alright.
Technically, well,
Technically.
actually,
With
Oh, no.
literal needles and also psychic ability,
no.
they have been sutured to this creature.
They're not going anywhere
Alright.
anytime soon.
Was re-rolling all the bad rolls.
Yeah.
Gotta get them out of your
That.
system. That's how that works, right?
That was even worse. Ooh, that's a natty 1. Not anymore. That's now a 4. Okay. Alright.
Slightly better.
10,
That's a miss.
11,
Miss.
16,
That's a miss.
and then 21,
That hits.
and then higher than that.
Those all hit.
So that would be 4 damage and then 9 damage.
4 damage and then 9 damage. All right, they are still up.
Oh my god. Alright, and then all the small mining supply is gonna attack the big guy.
Oh, sorry, that was against the little goblins, right?
Yeah.
Oh, you shredded those goblins. Never mind, I thought that was the big guy. Yeah, so those goblins eviscerated. Underneath, they're trapped, they can't move, and so these hammers and pickaxes just straight to the face. They are gone.
Nice. And these are all now just attacks on the big guy. They are plus 8 to hit, so it's gonna be 12,
Miss,
15,
miss.
18,
That's a hit.
and the rest are higher than that.
There you
so, plus 4, so 6 damage, and then 5 damage, and then 5. And that's all regular piercing or bludgeoning, depending on the mining supply.
They slice through, they
It's a
strike
bucket, it's
into them,
bludgeoning.
they fall to one knee, but then their head jerks up, and in giant they say, I will have the power! And they reach and like lurch back up to their feet, intent on Alina's hooves.
Hate it.
Anything else, Valis?
I had my turn,
Alrighty.
but I am positioned underneath Alina.
Yeah.
Which means I am 10 feet away.
You're guarding the hooves. That was your turn. That
You are
brings us
able
to
grab
Ori.
the hooves.
Oh, you're on deck.
Am I within 5 feet of this prone guy here?
Yeah.
All right. I'm like watching this happening, and then this guy falls. I turn. I'm like, oh, all right.
And then you fall on top of him.
Yeah.
Assassin's Creed, eagle jump.
I'm gonna shoot at
He
this
doesn't
prone
offend a
guy.
belly.
Yeah, that's gonna be I believe a 28 to hit.
That hits.
Sneak attack because it's advantage. Guess I'll throw a charge on it. Why not? This guy hasn't taken any damage. There we go. That's pretty solid numbers. Math. Damn.
True.
When you're right, you're right.
Yeah, I mean, I can't say it.
25 points of damage,
Okay.
2 of which is magical fire, the rest magical piercing.
Deals the full amount of damage against this prone individual. You and you're firing the crossbow?
Yeah.
Okay, so from up top, you see them fall, and you just point the crossbow down and fire. It is the easiest shot you could possibly make. He is gigantic, and it digs in. You see the kind of mark appear, and anything else, Ori?
Bonus action. I guess I'm gonna hide from the guy that I just shot
Okay.
and hop down to, or hop up actually. Right? Yeah. Because I was here, so I'm just gonna hop up to here and move over to.
Kick a fox.
Make a stealth check. Don't do that.
Don't kick the fox.
No, I don't.
Just trying to live. He's got a little red scarf and a little sword and shield.
23.
23. Sorry, this is to hide.
Snap. Yeah, stuff.
You feel relatively hidden. Anything else, Ori?
That's it for me.
Alrighty. Ori, you sink this shot into the prone ogre, and then you duck into the shadows. That brings us to Billy.
Billy feels bad, man. Hexblade's Curse.
Okay.
Guy in front of me.
So, pull that over. That's dexterity still?
It just happens.
Gotcha.
Hold on. Okay. Equals proficiency bonus. Heard. Cool.
Okay.
And stab. Ooh. The lowest is a 17.
That hits. Meets a beat.
Sweet. Both hit then. All right. I am going to. Let's see. I'm debating on whether I want to smite. He can't be frightened. Never mind. Let's do weapon damage. So 9, 16 is 25. And then I am going to burn a bardic, and we're going to make it a defensive flourish. Which adds 5 points of piercing damage to the ogre and 5 points to my AC.
For a total of
So that's 25 plus 5 is 30
30.
points
Only
of piercing
deals
damage. Oh,
half as
plus it's magical.
Yep.
Plus 5 points of, is it necrotic? It just says damage.
For what?
Hexblade's Curse.
I-
It just says damage.
I think it's actually just pure. It's the
think it's just-
weapon-based damage.
Yeah.
But no problem. It only deals half the amount of damage that you would expect.
Even if it's magical piercing?
But Billy,
Let him keep.
that is enough. And so as they have been cut down by about something in the order of 11 different attacks, they have been just nickel and dime down to the point where this last burst of damage is enough to just rupture something within their chest. You can see there is just this expression on their face as they sink down to their knees, and they just... Yep.
Can Billy cut off the feet?
Sure. So as they sink down onto their knees, they are like on their knees, and so you can see the legs dangling behind them, almost in the hunger of the hunt. But you take this last moment as they grunt, and you hear Valis in Giant. They say, "Don't understand." Billy just cuts off their feet, and you hear them yelp out. The eyes roll back, and they onto the ground. The whole cave shakes, and there is still this one ogre in the distance, but that is the main one down. Anything else, Billy?
Perfect turn. Oh, and I get
is-
some health back.
That is your turn, Billy. You feel the health back into you. And that brings us to the lone remaining ogre. They climb to their feet. They look around for Ori. They're gonna walk over here and walk all the way to the top now.
Did they see me yet?
They look around and point at Alina because no, they do not see
Is
her.
Ori doing the thing where he's like behind the ogre? Like,
No, Ori like freezes. There's nowhere to hide, and so Ori's like, fuck. And this guy just points right past Ori. And just, their vision is based on movement.
I get myself real low.
And he is going to,
This has happened to me before, where a tall friend just eye lines right over my head.
as he runs up the stairs and he sees you, he's actually going to continue full force, and he's going to leap. The arms go wide, and Alina, can you make an athletics check, please?
yes.
Mika uses her reaction to give you a plus d6 to that.
Probably going to need
Gone.
That's
Is
a
this a-
four.
Four.
Athletics?
Yeah.
Is this
Are
a
you
saving throw?
sure?
that. No, this is a contested athletics check.
Sorry, that's a 4 that I get to add on.
Yep.
Okay, 8.
8. This ogre leaps, and they grab onto you.
Do I get an attack of
You
opportunity?
do get an attack of opportunity, and they're going to just take you down to the ground. And can you make a dexterity saving throw at disadvantage, Alina?
I can't use my crossbow, right? I have to use a.
Disadvantage if we use a crossbow.
All right, is
Alright, I'll do that.
Is this one a spell?
No.
Okay, 7.
does she get? She within 10 feet of me to
No, because 15 feet up and you're directly underneath.
which means she's 10 feet up from me.
Yeah,
So is your
tackled to the
is yours
ground.
10 feet and 1 inch? Technically, no. I don't think you're within because it's a 10 foot. What is this? Is your aura?
Yeah, the aura emanates from me. I'm 5 feet tall, so the aura's 10 feet
That's
away
a good
from me.
point. You are 5 feet. I assume you're actually taller than 5 feet tall, probably.
Man, Balance is short.
Would my aura still work if I was
Suddenly
a
in the
worm?
group photo, Dallas just shrinks down and disappears.
Babe, no. Babe, no.
Yeah, no problem.
So I do get the aura?
Yeah, you do.
What is it at 3?
Plus 3.
11.
Still not enough.
All that for a drop of
That is
blood.
a 28. And so they leap into the air, and you hear, "Broca!" and they snag onto you. You hear them yell, "Got you!" as they tackle Alina into the ground. And Alina, both of you take 10 points of bludgeoning damage as they.
I have resistance to bludgeoning
You get
damage.
almost squashed against them, and you feel the waistcoat almost billow out and seem to grow resistant against them. And at that moment, you are like a tiny steel object just pressed straight into their sternum. You hear a really dull crack underneath the skin, and they are badly hurt. That is not enough to kill them.
My opportunity attack, I think, hit with a 21.
21, that does hit.
But I do have to use my rapier because crossbow expert is what would let me use.
Are you dropping the crossbow?
Yes.
Okay.
And then I'm going to stab him, and it's a sneak attack because I'm still hidden, and it's not my turn; it's someone else's turn.
Okay,
Once per turn.
that is true.
And that's that's good.
Just imagine every time like this happens, Joe makes
So
It's
20.
well, it's as you know, swashbuckler is a little different. So there's always there's like a thing that I run down. And I don't need to anymore. But
28 points, but it's just regular slashing. Regular piercing, rather.
no worries.
Not magical.
So they land on you. There is this crack, and you hear the wind driven out of them, and they are prone on the ground. You are underneath them, and so you are considered grappled.
What if I don't want to be?
Then you're considered grappled, and it really sucks. But that is their turn. On their back, you could hear these goblins shrieking as they are brought along with this ride completely against their will. They
Have something in common with them.
see you. They've used their major ability. That's all that they can do, and that brings us to the last goblin.
The last goblin.
I think it's two.
It's a wonderful movie.
Unless you count the sleeping one.
Which, do we not count the sleeping one? I mean, he's
No,
unconscious.
he's not.
But,
He's still unconscious.
but he's still like there.
Yeah,
If
but
he
he's
were
not-
to wake up,
he's
he
not
would
running.
be hostile.
Yeah, we can tie him up.
Those other two are just booking it off until
like
the
that.
distance over here. But that is their turn. That brings us to Alina.
All right. I'm gonna misty step out of there and appear like 20 feet immediately above him, and then just shoot Eldritch Blast down.
Okay, so
Go ahead and put you right back up where you were.
Yeah.
they just kind of collapse on the ground, filling in the void where you were, and over top them. Go ahead and make your attack roll.
Oh, buddy. All right, that's a 15 and a 13.
Those are both misses, unfortunately. And as you fire down at this individual, it is you strike them in the back, and it just ricochets off the armor. Anything else, Alina?
I'm gonna be like, Billy, that one. Kill.
Suddenly, Alina up top yells this down. That is your turn, Alina. That brings us to Minka.
All right, so first, the pixie friends are 40 feet.
Get him.
Oh, my animal friends. Kill them.
Pixies like it when they run.
Oh my god.
Pew-pews. Pew-pews.
Okay.
They're not from the same camp that Petal was. They're like, kill.
Oh, one's a natural 20.
That's a hit.
They're the German folklore.
And then
pixies.
a 15 and a 12.
15 hits, 12 misses.
Okay, so 2 hits. They don't roll for damage.
Correct, so still just 1 damage.
Yeah, so
what I'll say is the one that is a critical, they drop unconscious.
Okay.
No problem. That makes sense to me. So you can put knock him down. He just is running full speed and then just straight to the ground.
Ooh,
There's a
into the barrel.
like it's hard. You hear a
Give him a
tooth
ring
chip.
too, just so we can keep
The other one, go ahead, and that is a
DC 10 Constitution.
On being
If they roll under a 5, they fall asleep.
it is not under a 5 because it's a 6. And so they are they like sag to the side. They go no, and they like dig themselves in. They're like pull themselves along, but very close to unconscious.
Okay, and then the rest of these guys are just gonna shoot the downed one, I guess.
Okay.
So,
Is this goblin over here with this guy?
I would assume.
I think
You come tumbling down.
Yeah. Well, no, the flight is fine, but Hunger of the Hunt disappeared when Alina got hit.
Concentration.
Sorry that I didn't do that sooner.
So, on the low end, we have 11, which is a no.
That is a miss.
13, which is also a no.
That is a miss.
A 15,
That is a miss.
and then a 15 on the die.
That is probably a hit.
Okay, so it's plus 6.
Yeah.
Okay, cool. So that's 1 point of damage, Constitution saving throw.
That is going to be a 19.
Okay, they're fine.
Did you take that point of
They
damage?
do.
And you know,
Cameron.
that matters. So they're not looking great. That doesn't kill them, but they're not looking good on the ground. Anything else, Minka?
I'm going to. So on my turn, I'm going to shift to Archer and just take a shot at them.
Okay. Which one?
The downed
Okay.
guy over there. That is a total of 16, which I believe is a miss.
That is a miss.
And then for my action, Minka is just going to chill.
Okay, free action.
Free action.
You chill. That brings us to the top of the round and
It is really cold here.
What'd you roll for your? What'd you roll for your? It probably won't matter, but you also get +3 for my aura for concentration checks. I'm gonna go over here and stab the guy that's lying down.
You rush along the edge of the wall.
Oh, back up.
Suddenly you're like, whoa! As Hungry One flickers back into being.
Thank you.
Do I have advantage because he's prone?
You do.
All right, so that's gonna be a 24 to hit,
That hits.
and then a 28 to hit.
That also hits.
And it's gonna be 10 magical piercy, and then another 10 magical piercy.
The second one is enough to kill him. And so as this individual's on the ground, they seem to be just a little bit more hurt. You can see these tiny little arrows are flying out of the air into them. That doesn't seem to do a whole lot, but added on to your onslaught, that's enough.
Stab.
They are down.
But now there's 2 goblins on him, right?
There is, I believe, 1 goblin that is still up on them.
Okay. I will just tell my menagerie to just, I don't know, he's the only thing I can see, so I'll just tell the mining supplies to kill him. And you want me to roll?
No, that's okay. He only has 7 health left, and I feel like taking 2 hits will be enough, so no problem. They eviscerate him. These shovels and pickaxes and little pythons are just pummeling the corpse of this creature into a pulp. But anything else, Valis?
Let's see.
There's 1 goblin left who is running away, and then 2 who are unconscious at this moment.
I will...
Sorry, you can't see through there because of your aura.
It's too strong.
Is there any outskirts I can like walk through that, or is it all kind of...
By design, it takes up the whole place, but you could climb up here.
Kind of like the other ogre who had climbed along those rocks. They really had to go around that spot.
You can go around it, you just can't. You would have to climb up somewhere.
Okay. I'm going to...
You can also just...
free action chill as well.
Okay, no problem.
You can just run through to the other
Or-
side, like if you have enough movement.
And
Yeah,
really
go
around there.
straight on
From
through.
where you are,
To the other
you
side.
really can't see a whole lot. In the distance, you can just barely see flickering from the lone kind of fire that is in the downed goblin's hand. The outline of that 1 goblin who is relatively close to that lantern, actually. And that's the only person who's still up.
Huh. What?
From where you are, too, it would be a pretty tough shot because you're looking right over the top of the hunger. You're seeing, like, the dude's forehead.
Alright, well, I'm just gonna go.
Great, because that's the best place to shoot.
2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Bonus action dash. 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12.
Very nice, yeah. It's threading the needle. He's definitely getting cover from that.
And I guess I'm gonna take a ding old shot at him. Am I noticed?
You are not.
Okay. Ooh. I pick up my crossbow.
Okay, so you just dash back. You go, you pick up your crossbow, which technically, if you're picking up an item...
Then I don't take the shot. I just bonus action.
Okay.
Okay. Then in that case, bonus action. Pick up my crossbow.
Okay. Action dash, no problem. You get out there. There's the goblin. That is your turn. Ori, that brings us to Billy.
Ori definitely likes it.
Billy, from where you are with Hunger of the Hunt over top, everybody's down.
Okay.
You see nobody.
Anyone left?
There's a goblin over here.
I'm sorry, the Hunger of the Hunt is still up. I
And
didn't
the
realize I was
thing-
gonna have to drop it.
There's also a thing over here that I don't know about, but I see it.
You can see that it is actively hiding at the moment, but it rolled real low.
This
And
thing?
so with a 7, yeah, you're seeing some kind of a chitinous beast with a metallic exterior.
So it's half speed,
Bug thing.
20-foot radius. So I would end my turn in there unless I like went all the way through. Crap, and I can't see Ori anymore.
You just hear the
Very good.
voice.
You flying up high? You flying?
Fine.
I can't see shit. Fuck him up. and send you a bardic.
Okay, sorry.
Everybody's just chilling behind the hundred.
And then I guess I'll just like. No, yeah, that's it. That's all I do.
That goblin
Yeah.
runs another 50 feet further.
This way?
Yep, in a straight. No, that one's asleep.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, 50 feet further.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9.
There we go. Just as fast as they can, woof, to the left, woof, to the right. They can't really see anything firing, but their friends are just dropping unconscious around them. And so they're just trying their hardest. But Alina, what are you doing? You have this bardic.
Well, I drop Hunger of the Hunt. I go, sorry. I thought it was gone, but then it
So
wasn't.
for a second time, woof, it drops.
Yeah. I'm gonna. 5, 37, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Am I within 120 feet of that?
You are
Pew pew!
90 feet away, I believe.
How long does Bardic last again? A minute?
It's until you. It's mine, so it's
Okay.
once you use it, it's gone.
Okay. Can you add it to it again?
That.
Okay, well, one of those is a natural 1.
You can use your
That's a
bardic for
miss.
this as well.
Well, this is a 4, isn't gonna
That's true.
make it.
It
so
might.
that It hits. Oh, sorry. Okay. 8 on one of them.
An eight-
Oh no, sorry, 18. What am I doing?
18 is a hit.
That's great. The other one is a 26.
That is a hit as well.
Alright, so that's gonna be numbers, 2 numbers I can add. No, I can't. Alright, that's gonna be 26 points of force damage and 4 bludgeoning.
Alina, tell us how it happens.
Well, Alina has very little regard for goblin life, so she just surgically just removes the head from the body. Pew pew.
No problem.
It's
You
very
see-
precise. The neck is very tiny on a goblin, but she hits it.
Yeah, no, and you don't see a goblin running away. You see a loose end, and we can't have that. You fire an eldritch blast, and in the darkness, all you see is one shape become 2, and you're all out of combat.
That's my BFF.
There are, for what it's worth, still 2 sleeping goblins.
Not for long.
And some sort of beast that is hiding from us.
And a sort of chitinous creature that Ori has spotted.
Do you tell us about the kindness creature?
Yeah, I was like, there's some sort of bug thing over here. It looks scared. Is it like...
just leave it
it's
alone, then.
Just kind of like
Make a nature check.
Yeah, I'm trying to figure out what this thing is.
When he tells us about it, I like to go over and also inspect it. Could I also
Make a
make
nature
a nature check?
I'm gonna start tying up the goblins while they do this.
Yeah, I'll help with
Billy's got sword in hand, rushing forward.
Okay, you rush forward as the hunt drops, and you look around, and there's just corpses.
16?
Billy goes to look at the ogre bodies.
It's a bug, some kind of spider.
Natty 20.
Down one of the ogres.
This is a rust monster. You've heard of these before. They consume metal, convert them into rust through rapid oxidization, and then take the elements of iron that they consume, and then that forms the kind of carapace around their body. They are not good for armor and for things made out of metal. This one in particular, you're noticing with that check, there's something very weird about how it holds itself, and you recognize it is because at the moment, hard to tell because it's made out of wood, but there is a sort of collar that has been placed around it, and that leads to wooden links on a chain that is connected to a rock. And you can see currently it is kind of cowering in this little cave, and it seems to be around a mound of rusted metal.
Do they count as beast?
Yes.
Okay. I can't speak with animals.
Okay. You cast Speak with Animals. This magic pulses out.
Some sort of rusty-colored bug.
Hey, little guy.
You can see the little antennas kind of lowered down, and it looks up at you and it says, "I'm sorry, did you say something?"
Yes, I did.
Oh my god.
It kind of...
I'm talking to you.
And Ori, you're just hearing this kind of sound, but this creature to you says, "Nobody's talked to me before. Who are you?"
I'm Valis Bridgebellow of the Ancients.
Valis is doing his thing again.
This thing crawls out and the wooden links and it pulls
This
taut
one's
and it kind of
weird.
looks over towards you. Is anybody else doing anything at this moment?
Billy's hacking through the corpses looking for anything useful.
Make an investigation check.
Tying up gobos.
Tying up goblins.
Easy enough for two of you who have very little regard for goblin safety and a lot more regard for your safety. You secure these goblins.
I'm looking around from
had an
here to see,
opportunity
kind
to
of
be
Make a
more
perception
scan this area,
so
see
she
if there's
rolled
anything
poorly.
else to
Did not
like.
make a friend.
Because now we've seen the ogres, or the giants, and the goblins sort of working together, and with this salicylene-like stitching.
Sure.
11.
11. What really takes your attention, you find nothing. And that's because when you kind of cut through the first ones, the thing that you notice most is that each of them, at first, the ogres themselves each have remnants of tattoos at the base of where they have been sutured into the goblins proper. But the goblins themselves have tattoos as well. Each of them has had words in giant tattooed across the tops of their heads or shoulders or back, somewhere where an ogre might be able to see it.
Comprehend languages. Too proud.
Sure. You cast comprehend languages. Nothing changes. These are names. And you read the names of each one of these goblins has been tattooed onto their heads.
Are you fucking
You see
serious?
Mish, you see Wimpy, you see Dratson, you see Grobly, you see Zanzi, you see Gabby, you see Rock Eater,
I hate
you see
this.
Jakit, and you see Vlon. But you use that spell and you learn the names of these dead
Did you
goblins.
ritual cast it?
The ones who are alive, for what it's worth, are named Wimpy and Zanzi.
Wait, so Wimpy and Sanzi are the ones that are hogtied.
Correct.
All right.
Wimpy is the first one that went unconscious. Zanzi is the one closer to the camp.
Wimpy and
Wimpy.
Sanzi. All right. I think Meg at this point would just start investigating the nearby crystals if nothing else is going on.
Make a nature check.
Alina kind of to the group is gonna be like, we're taking a breather now, right? Okay, good. And she's gonna, once the gobos are tied up, she's gonna start doing her res summoning.
Okay. Get the chalks out. You begin to cast your circle.
Mechanically
25%.
starting a short rest while I do this.
With the 25, as you look around, if you look at that map, you will see that there is an element on the map that is labeled Demag. And that would sync up very much with what you were seeing in this room.
We're on the map.
You are on the map.
Hell yeah.
On the map. On the map.
18 for local crystal investigation.
Okay.
Alright, I think we're on the edge of the map now.
That's great. We can rest then for a second before we move on.
So embedded into the Augite itself, there are all manner of things. You see pyrite in places that have formed these strange spindly crystals. You can see there are in places here and there raw chunks of emerald, some as big as like a finger. And then you can see here and there are some other kind of iron-based ore, although here and there you can see it is rusted over pretty badly. Further in, past the elements of
Rust monster.
kind of ruin, you can see that there is more and more alexandrite that seems to kind of spread further down. And all at once, you're recognizing that the ceiling here with the igneous rock and this bits of alexandrite that luminesce underneath the archer, it doesn't look dissimilar to where you found that big crystal initially. There are elements that are very similar. And it's pretty cold here, but that doesn't tell you very much except for the fact that whatever volcanic process created this place, not currently active. And that's what you'd be able to tell.
Hey Valis, what's this thing saying?
So I'll tell the group what it is
Okay.
and to keep metal stuff away from it. He's saying that no one's ever talked to him before.
Well, I'm not very surprised about that.
I mean, you asked me what he said.
Could you ask him, like, what they're doing down here?
I haven't gotten to that part. I just started talking to him.
I'm sorry, do you have goblins with you too?
No, we just killed all the goblins that were here.
You can see the little antennas pop up and it goes, really?
Yeah.
They're all gone?
Well, most of the ones around here, are they?
What about
people
my
from
friend? He's big. He's not a goblin.
here? Oh, which one is your friend?
His name's Groger.
I'm sorry, I don't think Groger is around anymore.
I'm just imagining Groger.
I'm gonna take out
Billy's
a
all the
bag
way
of
over
call
there.
props and start and say, "Here, I have. You eat these, right?" And I'm gonna start feeding him like popcorn. I don't know.
So you throw some of these out, and it goes over, and just Ori, you can see it over, and one of these call traps just disappears into the mouth, and you hear like crunching and the tearing of metal as it just eviscerates through the steel, and it says to you, Valis, "These are spicy, but I like that." And just like shearing bits of metal away, and you can see little bits of rust falling out of its mouth as it does so. But it turns to you and it says, "Hey, could you possibly free me from this?"
Sure. Can we ask you some questions first?
Okay.
Okay.
It's like
I look
just
to Ori.
gnawing on these caltrops.
What were the questions you want to ask again?
Oh, does he have any idea what they're doing down here? And could he maybe help guide us through their tunnels?
Do you know what the goblins and the ogres are doing down here?
The goblins. The goblins have always been down here. They've been much worse recently. They used to leave us alone. And you said the ogres?
Yeah, the big guys similar to your friend Groger.
The big goblins like Groger.
The big goblins.
The big goblins are new. They didn't used to be around here, and they're terrible, except for Groger. He's nice. He's not like the other ones, and they're mean to him also.
Why?
If you see him, could you tell him that they're gone too? He'll want to come back. He'll want to go home.
I need an out of character moment.
I stand by my character
Tear.
choice.
After a moment, he says, "I can help you, but Groger knows the place much better than I do."
Why are they keeping you captive? What do they make you do anything?
I think they mostly keep us captive because the kobolds always have, and when they got rid of the kobolds, I think they use us as guards. We eat all kinds of things that they use for other things.
Okay.
And you can see they over and they pull scraps of this like iron out. You see chains, you see little swords and other elements of armor, all of which seem, with your nature check, certainly too small for humans. Probably kobold armor.
Okay.
Rusted?
Yeah.
Okay. Do I know with my check, how does a rust monster, say if it's a magical, like, metal thing, do they also just destroy that, or does the magic just prevent them?
It won't work on magical items.
Okay. Anything in that pile still together?
Make an investigation check.
16 on the die. Ooh. Let's see. 17.
17. You dig through, and you do find a...
And I'm going to ask him, is there... Oh, sorry. Go ahead.
You do find a single link of metal that is completely untarnished. It is like a single chain link in a set of chain link armor. And there is a sense that there is something magical to it, but you recognize that this seems to be the clasp of a magical cloak, and in and of itself not magic. You dig through this steel, you look for this item, but it is not here. Almost certainly there was something here at one point. And what were you saying to the rust monster?
I realized I can also just ask him, was there anything here that you couldn't eat? But then, now I'm going to ask him, since I found this, was this attached to something?
Yes, it was. It was terrible going through.
Okay, I'll take the class, if it's still magical.
Yeah.
And I'll keep feeding him cult drops, and I'm gonna ask him, do you know of a big fortress or castle down here where perhaps all the goblins and big goblins take non-goblins to as captives?
It kind of curls around and it says, "Oh yes, the fortress by the goblins' village."
Could you lead us there?
I can lead you close. I don't want to go much closer.
Okay. Could you lead us as close as you are comfortable?
You're not from around here, I can tell. There's dangerous things. You should be very careful. I would turn back. I would go back to where you're from. Where are you from?
I don't know the village, the name of the village that I'm from, Joe. Do you know that off the top of your head?
I do, but I don't know that you were. Would that be part of your... Hang on 1 second here. Give me 1 second.
Does Valis remember where he's from? Today's question.
Now, I think
Since
about
we're
this
talking
question.
about Ratatouille.
So, Valis, you can remember an idea of home. You remember the idea of the home really being like Emerald Spire. You remember smells that are associated with it. But then when you try to think past that, like an origin, there is a gaping hole there that tells you that this was part of what was removed. And that's odd. Before, almost everything has been much more academic in nature. This is a deeply personal memory that has been removed. And there's only ever been one other thing. And you still can't quite remember what it is, but you remember a smell. You remember the smell of perhaps almond blossoms or something similar, and then it kind of fades out of your memory. But you don't know where you're from.
I'm gonna tuck away to mentally deal with that later.
Into the box it goes.
From
I'll
above
unpack
ground.
that later.
From
Therapist,
above
probably.
ground. The Emerald Spire.
You can see like the little antennas drop down and it goes, oh, that's terrible above ground. Too
Yeah.
bright up there.
But we can't go back. We need to go to the fortress. But yeah, let us free you, and please don't eat any of our stuff. We do need it. You can definitely have the rest of these caltrops. And I give him the rest of the caltrops. I just dropped the bag of 20 or whatever is
Okay.
left. But please don't eat any of our stuff because we need it for the danger down here.
It nods. Make a persuasion check. This is not to convince it not to eat your stuff. You
thank
get the
you.
sense that it's happy to eat your
Actually, your
stuff.
shit looks pretty tasty,
10.
bro. And now that you freed me, I'm gonna fuck your shit.
It nods and says, very well. I'll help you. You just need to let me out of this chain.
Okay.
Swords.
Then I'll just tell my mining supplies to mine the shit out of these chains.
Yeah, no problem. It's wooden chains. You
Yeah.
crush it. It frees itself.
Valis
And I
just
tell all my
freed
mining
it.
supplies to get back in the bag.
Back in the bag.
Packing themselves up.
Very neatly. They just lay themselves flat. But this rust monster, now free, consumes elements of the caltrop.
What's your name? Do you have a name?
No. He turns
Rusty.
and just looks very oddly at you and says, what is a name?
I'm gonna call you Claspy.
Claspy. Okay. What's your name?
Valis
Valis.
Birchbillow.
How do you pronounce?
What are your
Claspy
goblins' names?
Hello.
What do you mean, my goblins? You mean my...
You can see
Friends?
now there are people like digging through the other goblins, and you can see Billy is just like stabbing a goblin sometimes.
Those aren't goblins. We are
He's hanging out on the ground.
adventurers.
Adventurers.
Yeah. Yeah. And I'll point and say, that one's Ori. That one's Minka.
Did you just?
Yeah, he asked what your names were.
Oh,
You can just you look at it and it just goes.
He says hi.
How intelligent is this creature?
He seems pretty smart. And I tell him about the conversation and then say that he's going to take us as close as he feel comfortable going to the gobble lair, and that he was used as a guard against the kobolds because the kobolds use metallic things.
Wow, this is very. Oh, okay. I am.
We don't need it. We have a
impressed with
map.
this rust monster.
Here, overhearing you talk to Ori, it would say, "Oh, not a guard against the kobolds. We just disposed of all the remains. The kobolds kept us as pets, I think."
Correction. And I say all that.
Oh, so it's.
So did you want him to... You said you wanted him to lead us, right? That was Ori's idea.
Well,
Did
I
you-
figured if it's a native creature to this area, it would possibly know a bit more about the.
If we don't want him with us, we could just
Directions,
ask him
then,
about the
yeah.
dangers then.
I mean, we do have a map. Is he
Right,
gonna
but
eat
that
our
map
stuff?
is scribbled on. By
I asked him not to.
I would rather
How
not
is
put him into any more danger than
confident-
necessary.
Yeah, you asked him not to? Well, hello, little rust monster.
Still just like looking at you, completely disregarding Alina.
All right, change your plans. I spoke with my other goblins. I mean, adventurers. So that you're safer, you don't have to guide us. Could you just tell us about any dangers that are up ahead?
I can try.
Yeah.
What's a danger?
Dangerous things that might kill us or eat us. Yeah. What's this ouch slide that's up ahead?
You gesture at the map. It doesn't
the
seem
map
to be
doesn't
able
work.
to comprehend the map, really. You say ouch slide, and it sort of looks at you and just goes, I don't know what you mean.
You said there are dangerous things down here?
Yes.
What are those dangerous things?
There's goblins.
Anything else besides goblins?
Well, the kobolds to some people, but they never really captured us. I think we worked together. But that was a little bit before my time. There's a big monster that's down deep, deep below, and it has big, big wings, but also big, big legs.
Okay. I tell the group that.
I was gonna say none of us can react to
How many of each? Was it like 2 and 4, or is 2 and 2? Does
2 legs, 2 wings? Is that what you're asking?
Yeah.
How
because
many
I-
wings and how many legs?
What is many?
Let's see.
Oh no.
So, how do I describe quantity to a rust monster?
Maybe just ask, do the kobolds like the thing with the wings and the legs?
The wings and the legs. Do the goblins get along with the things with the wings and the legs?
When the legs belonged to Karin Ma, yes. But when they were torn off and reattached to the wings, no.
I fucking hate this saying.
Who's Karin Ma?
Karin Ma? Karin Ma was...
Is that a name that's on this map?
No.
Okay.
But they say that was Loltor's mate.
Oh.
Lotor?
The mother of all spiders. You should respect her. She's scary and powerful and knowledgeable.
How do we respect her?
You could see there's hesitation, and then there's this concept that is conveyed to you, and there aren't really words that fit it, but you get the sense that this has a lot more to do with like insectoid olfactory manners than manners that you would need to really worry about. But as part of this, what you really get the sense of is the individual that they're talking about with... You would make a flat intelligence check.
Let's see. 16.
16. You see in this moment, as they say Loltor, the antennas go flat, the little arms kind of shiver in a little way, and you had just only a couple days ago met a couple of kobolds who every time that they said the Lord almost went into this like ecstasy-like state, and it's a little bit like that. They are speaking with reverence of this Loltor. This is somebody who is immensely powerful in their worldview, in a similar way to the Lord being powerful to the kobolds. And so this is an individual who is worthy of respect because they should be in charge of this place. And this is all like a very nebulous concept that means a lot more to insects and beasts than it means to like humans. But from it, you get the sense that this is an immensely powerful creature.
Okay. Am I understanding correctly that so legs attached to wings, this creature, the goblins got along with it when it was Karin Mar, but now that it's been attached to the wings, the goblins don't get along with it? Is that what you were saying?
Yeah. Silverwing's bad.
Your wing's bad.
Okay. Any other questions for Class B?
You named it.
Claspy?
Oh,
Why did you call him that?
Why do we name things?
Do they know anything about rocks like this one? Or
And Mega kind of like holds up like the little like cluster of gem that's like around her neck right now.
Sure.
I will bring it closer to Claspy.
Okay. I just found a whole bunch, so hopefully he's not still hungry. Hey, don't eat this, but do
It's
you
rock.
know... Oh, it's a rock. Oh, good. Hey, Class B, do
Crystal,
you
technically.
know... Are you looking for more, or are you asking for what it is?
I'm just looking to see if he has seen more of.
How close are you getting to Class B?
Oh god.
I will get with like about 5 feet away, but I will kneel down.
As you get to within 30 feet, Class B takes taking a couple steps back.
Oh,
And-
nice stop then. I
Class B
won't.
stops and just kind of hanging out. takes like a couple steps forwards to grab a caltrop and just starts munching on it, kind of draws back almost subconsciously.
Do you see that rock on that adventurer over there around the necklace? Do you know where we can find more of that?
Turns to you. Let's see.
Do you...
Oh, does it have eyes?
I think it needs to sense it, so it needs to be closer. Do you feel
Oh.
comfortable with that?
I mean, it's a crystal. It can't rust.
Okay.
And he'll just like take it off and like hand it over.
As you get closer, this creature takes like a step back, and it doesn't. Nothing about his demeanor changes. But make an insight check, Phallus, and I would say Minka, you as well.
I don't know nothing about what's going on.
I also know less than I would like. That was a shitty roll.
4.
Oh,
I
God.
know more than 4. Insight? 13.
13, Phallus, no idea what's going on here, but you recognize suddenly as you take this necklace off, it draws back a little bit, and as you pull this closer, it just kind of almost leans back in, and it's not drawing away in fear, but there is something that at the periphery, if it truly can't see, it senses that it's near and it avoids it.
Okay. Well, I won't antagonize them. Put it back on and be like, it's okay. Maybe just ask them, is there an area that they don't like in the cave system? They just don't, they avoid?
That's a good question. I asked that. Is there an area in the cave that you avoid in this?
Lots of areas that I avoid.
Anywhere that you avoid similar to the way that you just avoided that adventure?
Deep, deep dark.
The deep, deep dark.
Yeah.
And how do you get to the deep, deep dark?
Well, you just have to crawl down and 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 down.
That makes sense.
And then about halfway there.
How many downs was that?
Yeah, halfway there. Oh my god. Any other questions for Claspy?
I don't think so.
Why is he called Claspy?
He didn't have a name.
What is
Why
it?
Claspy?
Oh, I found a clasp next to him. So I thought it'd be easy to remember.
Can I see that?
Sure, I hand it over.
I look at it.
Rust monsters can't eat things that are magical. This thing seems intact, so maybe it's magical. So I just grabbed it from the pile.
Can I
Make an
figure
arcana
out
check.
like what it is?
Make an arcana check. Yeah.
All right, so
Billy's
class 3 is
sitting.
free now. So what was that?
Billy's just sitting.
And I tell, all right, thank you for all your help. And if I see Groger, I'll let him know that the other big goblins are gone.
Thank you. They were so mean to him. And he'll definitely come back if they're gone. Just eat these caltrops. But no problem.
16.
With a 16, you examine this clasp, and it's unlike anything that you've ever seen before. This is some kind of brass, but it's warm to the touch, and even in this cold place, it emanates a little bit of warmth. There is symbols that to you initially you can't read, but as they kind of swirl back into focus, you could see it's like they shift, and they're a little bit more glyph-like, and then they shift again, and they're a little closer to common. They go from these concentric circles with these ornate rings that seem to link them in patterns that are both random and very intentional to just straight common. And on this, you can read, it just says, Fourth Banner. And I would say you've seen this kind of writing before, so you know that it's celestial, even though you can't read it.
Fourth, like the number 4?
Yes.
Have I heard of the fourth banner?
Make a history check at disadvantage.
Hey, does anyone know what the fourth banner is?
That could mean a lot of things.
Billy's just humming a song of rest in the corner.
History check?
Yeah.
18.
Fourth
Or he's
banner.
just sitting up on the rocks like
Boy.
watching this conversation between a bug and
So banners, I mean, that could really speak to a number of different things, but this in particular, being written in Celestial, would mean it narrows down pretty significantly, and that doesn't have to do with any banners that you've ever heard of. This stone, as you're thinking about this, This is not normal metal. And it's not that there is like magic that has been imbued into it through spells or enchantments. There's innate magic to the metal itself. Something tells you that this is Ignan brass. This is from the elemental plane of fire. And outside of that, you're not really sure what fourth banner might be, but it likely relates to that plane. How long does your Song of Rest take?
It's a short rest thing.
Short rest thing, okay. So anything that people are doing aside from summoning res and Song of Resting for the short rest?
Just looking around.
Okay.
Just, you know.
Make a perception check.
Yeah, I'm gonna kind of get this map.
Not great.
I'll probably rest over here so that I can keep an eye, because it's kind of from where we are now on the map. There's kind of this one tunnel that goes down to the area that was marked or crossed out.
Correct.
So
If anyone rolls hit dice, you get an
kind
extra
of keeping
D8.
an eye passively in that
Make a
direction.
perception check.
and, like-
Oh, so passively, no worries.
Well, yeah, while I like look at the map and keep guard basically while resting. So should I?
No.
I see like an armory here. Does it have like weapons on it? That I can
So
just
yeah, you
select?
can go over there. They're goblin arms, but they're certainly weapons. They're unlike the goblin weapons that you've seen up on the surface. On the surface, when you had originally started this campaign, you had attacked a number of goblins who all had these little chopper-like weapons that were of a very fine quality. This is some of the shittiest steel that you've ever encountered. It is rusted and patched, not like this rust monster, but from genuine old age, and because there is so many impurities in the metal itself. There are elements of the kind of scimitars and spears that you see there that in and of themselves were almost built broken. And so these are like goblin crafted weapons almost certainly. There are 3 scimitars and 2 spears in that little rack.
I'll take those.
Okay. You can all mark off a short rest. At the end of that short rest,
Res is back.
Res, back into being. And Billy, what does the Song of Rest do?
So everyone gets an extra D8 when they roll hit points.
So if you roll hit points, go ahead and roll that D8 and add it to your total.
Do you have to roll hit points to get it, or can
Yeah.
you roll the 1d8 as the only hit point?
You need to roll hit dice.
Okay, well,
Let's try that.
I'm gonna go back to full then, but
At the end of the short rest, you are all getting a little bit sleepier. And so, though you did just rest, you're not getting too far away from where you probably want to start thinking about a longer one. But after the end of your short rest, Minka, you're confident that you have not been spotted or seen. And what would you all like to do? There is a spot just beckoning beyond this kind of pathway, and on the map now you can see where that leads.
Well, Alina's
Song of Rest
gonna,
brought me
yeah,
in
just
full.
kind of like roll out the map, just kind of like point out what things say because she can read all written language. Joe kind of explained a bit of it before the campaign, but so she's gonna point out like, okay, so we're here. Okay, there's that says Loltar. Like, didn't your friend mention Loltar? You know, like, ooh, that says diamonds. Like, could probably use some more of those, right? And
Yeah.
that right there, that says, what does it say? Scary Castle.
Yeah.
Yeah, that says Scary Castle. I'm fairly certain that is where we are headed.
Loltar, do you tell us that it means mother spider in Gobble? Does that mean
Yeah.
Okay.
Didn't
you tell
your-
us that?
Yeah, but also didn't you tell us that your guy said
He said
Loltar
Loltar, but I
was-
don't know it means mother spider because it's a
Okay.
goblin for mother spider.
He also told you that. That's fine.
He
No.
told me that that there's gonna be a big legs sewn onto wings type creature, which I'm gonna guess
so probably
is
a spider and a dragon or something.
Oh, dragon
Yeah.
spider.
It's probably that thing on the map that this thing here, Dark Card gets, if I had to guess. 'Cause,
Oh yeah, that's a good call.
So
but
maybe avoid that and go straight to the area that would have the things that we actually want.
I think we have to go down this slide.
I don't think we can avoid it. But the legs that used to belong to this creature that we'll probably have to fight used to belong to someone named Karen Mar, who was Loltor's mate.
Okay. I don't think we can avoid it. There's only one way across this chasm, and it's this bridge, which fun fact is labeled
Rez coming back into being as you're like putting this down.
buddy.
It's kind of like hovering over and is looking around. Is going to say, Alina. First of all, it smells like the hells in here.
Oh my god, that was the first thing I was gonna ask you.
So I don't know what you guys have been doing since I've been gone, but like this is.
We're just going toward that like castle, the place that we were gonna go to before.
Hey, good work. But also, be careful.
Okay, let's put a pin on that just for a second.
But it's important because if you look at this map, a devil would never just leave one way to get across. I mean, there has to be a different way.
I feel like there's got to be some sort of... It's just one chasm.
I mean, I can fly people over one at a time.
I don't think that's the only way. We're basing this off of a goblin's map. I don't think that they're going to be the best surveyors of the cave system.
Fair.
We could.
They're gonna be.
Oh no, I would just say we could go towards the diamond area, and then as we're going, reference it against the map, and then see how accurate it is. And maybe start to get an idea about what the tolerance of, goblininess in it is.
Are there actually going to be diamonds there, or would goblins see like quartz and call it diamonds?
I don't know.
Well, have you seen
I mean there are.
Either way, it may be worth going if there's a chance there's diamonds there.
Also, if there were diamonds, why would they not take them themselves if they knew the value inherent in diamonds?
Takes a long time to dig them out, maybe.
Or maybe they're just not cut very well, or it's not obviously they're not going to be cut, but maybe
Well,
they're
based
just
on this map and based on
tiny.
the weapons that are right there, I don't think they're particularly focused on quality.
well,
And they may not have use for diamonds in the same way we do.
or well, diamonds. Maybe it means not like the diamond, but something else that is diamond-like.
In which case, it might be a waste of time to go down there.
True. But at the very least, I think we have to go in that direction. I think we have to go down the ouch slide no matter what, right?
It does seem to be the only,
Well, we have to go down this hallway at least.
and the ouch slide is at the end of the hallway.
But there's this crossed out area first,
Oh yeah.
and something else. And
Crazy idea. If we run.
again, there might be stuff that we don't see on a map in the real location.
That's very true.
If we run?
If we run what?
Oh, I have a crazy idea that I just need to say out loud. If we run into Loltor, she definitely probably isn't getting along with the psilocybin since it killed her mate, took their legs, and attached it to some wings. So if we run into Loltor, there might be an ally there.
Have I heard of this mother of spiders?
Make a history check at disadvantage.
Apparently not.
I'm not saying we seek her, I'm just saying
It's not
we have to
impossible.
run into
If we
her.
run into her, we could try
Let's
to
roll it down.
create an ally of her.
Just
Yeah,
make
she-
it extra spicy.
She
Will we
could
be
web
able
us,
to
make
communicate
a web
with
bridge for us
this
across the
Loltor?
chasm.
Can you speak with Loltor?
I'm
Can
gonna.
we speak with Loltor? Do we know if Loltor
No, we
will
don't.
not just attack us on sight?
But if it's a very intelligent creature, I mean, if it's not an intelligent creature, then it probably wouldn't ally with us. But if it is, then it probably would be able to talk to us.
Well, mother of spiders sounds like a hag thing, and you don't just casually go up and say,
Oh.
"Hey, will you be my friend?"
I just imagine it as
But
a
if we
big
could
sentient
communicate,
spider.
we might be able to find common ground. Like, I have this spell that allows me to understand any spoken language and
Do hags have
probably
mates?
talk back in it.
That sounds.
Yes.
Define mate.
I don't know. The Claspy said mates. I don't really know what that means within the context of a Rust Monster's world of view. So I have no idea.
This is going great.
Not answering that.
So, I'm going to propose that we continue down this hall towards whatever we can discern
The ouch
this
slide.
slide and scratched out area as being, and focus more on what we see rather than what we hear from rust monsters and goblin maps.
Before we get to the outside, there's this odd bit in the wall.
That's what I had said.
Right, but right before the scratched out area, that's
Right.
really close to Loltor's place.
Right, it looks like maybe there's some sort of cache or something in the wall. That's what I would
Or a
guess.
hole or
something that, I mean, that's why I wanted to go and look.
We're definitely gonna go and look. We're just,
Minka, make an insight check. You're uniquely positioned to make this particular check.
Uh, 18?
Okay.
Nice.
Minka, as you look at this map, you're recognizing, yes, this is a goblin map. And not 3 hours ago had you been just shuffling along this hall, so excited to get to a cache, when you had tripped a trap. And a large boulder had been detached from the ceiling that had been kind of wedged into place by shivs. And that certainly looks a little bit like a drawing of a boulder. And you would imagine probably a similar sort of trap. Although this one appearing on a map, likely much larger. You're thinking Indiana Jones style boulder.
Wait, outside.
oh, does
Oh, guys, I think that's a bad time. I think they set up a trap at the top of the swirly.
Oh, and then you have to be... okay.
So,
So we trigger it so that whatever is going to crush us
we
doesn't crush us.
investigate it
Right, of
to
course,
make
but this
sure
is why.
that it's not structurally important to that area before we release the boulder.
Alright, well, I'm sure if it was a trap designed by goblins, it is a trap that I can disable.
You think to the board full of bones that you pushed over.
I feel pretty confident in my capability of doing that.
Could also just be incredibly unsafe.
These look like
we?
runes. Or the dots.
Make an Arcana check.
they almost look like? Well, sorry, Alina doesn't know anything about constellations.
Kara and Hannah know stuff from looking at the map.
Yeah.
Oh, I think that's a flat roll for Minka, which would be actually it might be a +1, a 6.
Too late.
You think that at first, but it might just be the grain of the map, or maybe this particular goblin had some charcoal dust on their hand and they just placed it down. And when they kind of began to write, it squiggled to make it look like signs because it sure just looks like a bunch of little dots.
I'll point them out
Yeah.
and be like, they look. I thought it was something, but the more I look at it, the more I don't know anymore.
Can I make a check?
Make an Arcana check.
Could I also make a check?
You can.
We don't know what stars are, right?
24. But we've heard her blabbering on about them.
Heard them
Oh,
mentioned in a
and
couple
we saw.
conversations.
Oh yeah, we've seen.
And we were in that one
Grove.
spot,
We
the grove where we could see the stars.
We also
Hey, what
went out
about
to the
that?
ocean.
What about the ball?
I got 24.
Okay.
I got a natural 20 for a total of 25.
Very nice. Okay. With a 24, as you look at this, certainly this is magic. And I would say for you too, Alina, though it's not strictly, and you get the sense that this is somebody's interpretation of what these symbols are, a goblin in particular who is probably not vested in magic, it is detailed enough that you can tell that there is arcane components to it. And as it tries to rearrange itself in front of you, you get the sense that this isn't just magic, this is infernal magic. But because it is 10:23, this is where we're going to end for the evening. Thank you for joining us for this session of Adventures in Alberon Courts of Everest. We will be back next week at 7 p.m., but please stay safe. We'll see you next week. Goodbye.
Bye.